To try to get my tablet, she rolled up the window on me and started bagging back with me hanging out the window.
This is all happening in front of 3-year-olds.
Then the fight turned even more explosive.
He put his arm in my car and tried to take the keys out the ignition. He pulled my gas tank back and tried to put a lit cigarette in there.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. 23-year-old Jeloni Thompson is suing her daughter's father, 25-year-old Carl McCaskill, for vandalizing her car.
Order. All rise. That's case number 165 on the calendar, the matter of Thompson versus McCaskill.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Ms. Thompson, you and Mr. McCaskill were a couple, and you have a 3-year-old child together.
Yes, we do.
I gather from the complaint and answer that you filed that you've tried to maintain somewhat of a civilized relationship with each other, or even going to certain functions together with your daughter. This case is about an incident that occurred at one of those events.
Yes, ma'am.
Where it is your claim that Mr. McCaskill vandalized your car during an argument.
Yes.
His story is to me as he sees it through his lens. When did you two stop living together?
We were never living together. We would just co-parent. We would just sleep over each other's houses, but we wouldn't live together.
When was the last time that happened?
A while ago. It was months ago.
Give me a month. Don't look at him. Don't look at him. Give me a month. That the last time either you stayed over at his house or he stayed over at your house in a co-parenting event. You want to tell me, Mr. McCaskill? She doesn't remember. You want to tell me?
I think it was around April.
April. How do you remember it was April?
My birthday.
So after April, you did not have any co-parenting sleepovers?
No.
But you saw each other on your birthday. That's very interesting. To me, Mr. McCaskill, that's a very interesting thing, that you would select to have a sleepover with Miss Thompson on your birthday if you're no longer together.
I'm not saying we slept together. It was just, that's around the time, my birthday, not the last time we slept with each other yet.
On your birthday?
Yeah, around my birthday, not exactly my birthday.
I didn't see you.
Okay. You have a little girl, is that right, Mr. McCaskill?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to tell me when the last time you saw her.
The day of the incident.
What was that date?
Memorial Day, I believe.
Why don't you tell me your version of what happened?
Well, Memorial Day barbecue. And
who went?
Me, Jelani, my daughter, my mom, her brother, my family. Had a nice little barbecue. When it was time to go, she rode with her brother, I drove her car, and I had my daughter. And my daughter rode together, her and her brother rode together.
Okay, so you were driving
her car,
and your daughter was in the car that you were driving?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When you finished the barbecue, where were you going?
We headed back to my house.
And was she going to follow you?
She didn't follow me, but she knew where we were going because we did the picnic in St. Louis. I stay in Illinois.
What was the plan after the picnic if you were going back to your house with your daughter?
Really wasn't no plan I was going to get. We alternate weeks. I keep my daughter for a week. She have her for a week.
So you were going to keep her for the week?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then why were you driving her car?
She was coming back. Her and her brother, they rode
Because the barbecue...
Shh. Yeah. I just drove her car because I guess she didn't want to ride with me. I drove her over there. Me, her, and my daughter rode together over there, but her brother came later on during the party, and she rode back with him.
So you all came together to the Memorial Day party?
Mm-hmm.
From whose house?
I believe it was my house.
So all three of you were in your house on Memorial Day?
Yes, ma'am. And
what time had Miss Thompson gotten to your house on that date, on Memorial Day? Or was she there the night before?
No, she got there that, I want to say...
Don't look over there, over here.
I'm sorry. I want to say it was like an hour or two before.
To pick you up?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have a car?
No, ma'am.
And was it the intention that you keep your daughter that week and her car?
No, ma'am. I don't keep her car, no.
Just her? Just your daughter? My daughter. Okay. Pick it up from there.
Okay, so we had the barbecue.
You had the barbecue. You were going home. Now you're at your house. The daughter is in your car. She's driving. You're meeting up at your house with her brother.
Yeah. When they pulled up, my daughter was still sitting in... Hadn't nobody else made it back to my house yet. So me and my daughter were sitting in her car, and I had my daughter watching TV on my little tablet. When they pulled up, she said I had an attitude about something like She came to me with an attitude. That's how the whole situation started. We argued a little bit. Like I said, it was my turn to get my daughter. Well, she didn't bring my daughter, like the diapers, the clothes and stuff, none of that was there. You know what I'm saying? So I asked her, could she go get it? She didn't want to.
Okay, so she didn't bring it to your house at all?
No.
You mean clothes?
Clothes, diapers, all that. And that was my issue. I was like, well, I don't have none of this here, so I can't keep her tonight. Either you can go home and get it, or you can just bring her tomorrow with the stuff. That was a problem.
What was the problem? Either leaving her without the stuff or going?
I guess she didn't want to take my daughter back with her. Like, because it was my week, I guess she thought I was trying to push my daughter off on her for the week. Not the case at all. Never have a problem. I kept my daughter anyway that night, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, we argued. I put my daughter back in the car because, like I said, I didn't have the supplies for her.
Just a minute. So you were taking your daughter out of the car?
Yeah, when they pulled up, I was taking my daughter. I thought we were going to, I didn't know good time.
So you took your daughter out of the car, and you were holding her in your arms?
Yeah.
And then you had this discussion about where's her clothes?
Yeah.
And she said, I don't have the clothes. So then you said you put your daughter back in her car.
Yes.
Well, that was the suggestion then that she was going to be going home with her mother.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then what happened?
That transferred into a whole little problem because, like I said, she thought I was trying to push her off on her or something. We arguing while my daughter's in the car. I noticed that I had left my tablet in the back seat that my daughter was watching. That's when I tried to go back around to the door to get my tablet. She locked the doors. The back windows were down from where I was driving. I started reaching through the back window to try to get my tablet. She rolled up the window on me and started bagging back with me hanging out the window. Got out, she stopped, I got out, never got my tablet.
And meanwhile, this is all happening in front of the three-year-old.
Yes.
Did you ever get your tablet?
I wound up getting it either the next day or the day after that because I told her I called the police on her.
Okay, so she drove off with the tablet?
Yes, ma'am.
Go.
Okay, so his family invited us to a barbecue.
We're past the barbecue.
So before we even left to the barbecue, the reason why he drove our daughter home, because he had an attitude. I don't know why he had an attitude, but you can just sense he did. So that's why I rode with my brother back to his house, to his mother's house, to continue the barbecue because the food wasn't done. So we get to his house. Me and my brother pulled up first. So they pulled up, and we all got out the car. He came back up front, and I asked, my daughter was asking for juice. And I said, she was asking, do they have any juice in the house? And he ignored me. I asked him again, and he said, no, we don't. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll leave the baby with you. I'll go up to this grocery store real quick, get her some juice so she can have some for her food. He was sitting there on the porch smoking a cigarette, and literally out of nowhere, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm like, okay. Like, he just started going off, started calling me out of my name.
I'm not doing what anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
He literally out the blue, he was sitting there smoking his cigarette. You can tell on his face he was thinking about something. So, like I said, he just out of nowhere said, I can't do this anymore, and started going off. I'm like, okay, whatever. So I went to my car. I'm in my car, I'm trying to pull off. He put his arm in my car and tried to take the keys out the ignition. So in the event of doing that,
Did he say my iPad is in the car or my tablet?
No, he didn't say.
Just a second.
Okay.
Was it?
It was.
It was.
It was. So, yeah, I did find it because it was dark. It was late. It was about 10, 11 o'clock when this happened. Okay. So I didn't see the tablet. So I guess he left the tablet in my car when he was driving. I didn't take it from him. But he was trying to take the keys out my ignition, and he's sitting there just yelling at me saying, and just calling me out of my name. So when he was doing all that, he locked the steering wheel. So my brother was trying to tell me. So in the event of him trying to, I'm trying to get out, he keeps closing the thing like this to keeps closing the door so I can't get out the car. And my brother's telling him to move. He wouldn't move. So finally, he went in the house. My brother fixed the steering wheel. And it was just in neutral. So he fixed the steering wheel. So I'm leaving. The baby, she's crying to stay with her dad. So I'm like, okay, you can stay with your dad. So I gave him the diaper bag. No, I didn't have clothes in there, but I don't feel like I should take care of my house and his house. It's your daughter. Get your clothes for her house. So I gave him the diaper bag with a couple of diapers and some wipes in there. I gave him that. And I sent the baby to her uncle to give to him so I can leave. He came outside. He pulled my gas tank back and tried to put a lit cigarette in there. And so luckily I backed up fast enough for him to, he jumped off and I drove away. And so he called me a couple times. I didn't answer the phone. And he called my brother. Well, my brother was still there. My brother called me, and all you hear him in the background screaming and yelling and going off, stuff like that. And my brother asked me, what do you want me to do with the baby? I'm like, it's his week. Just leave her there. He's with her dad. She's safe. And just come home.
So can you tell me why we're here?
He damaged my car, and I want him to fix it.
Well, what did he damage on your car?
The gas tank. He scratched the paint on it. And at one point in time, I wasn't even able to bend the tank,
Show me a picture of the scratched gas tank. Do you work, Mr. McCaskill?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of work do you do?
I build freezers. Well, the freezers be outside of gas stations.
And you, Miss Thompson?
I work in retail.
Do you have, other than having this co-parenting arrangement, do you have an arrangement for child support?
No, we do not. I'm currently working on that and trying to get a custody agreement for the two of us.
Well, there are a lot of chips on this car. I suggest, Mr. McCaskill, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go into an auto body shop, and you buy a little thing of white touch-up paint. When you finish touching up these little scratch on the gas tank, you touch up the other scratch that's below it, the other scratch that's below it in this. What I don't understand is, those look like really nice people that had a bad day, and you've been doing this co-parenting for a while, so there must be something nice about the way you still feel about each other. Otherwise, you wouldn't have gone to the barbecue, you wouldn't have taken the baby. You clearly, Miss Thompson, is smart enough to know that if he has custody every other week, you can have a life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I used to say that all the time. You know, you made a child with him. He's interested. He wants to be part of the baby that he made. And it gives you an opportunity to have a life.
Like, the only reason why we came up with that is because he wasn't taking her at all. So how that started was I dropped her off one day and left. That's how that started.
Well, that's not so smart, you see.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
How much were the sneakers that you bought?
$190.
Did you pay for his sneakers with a credit card?
Yes.
Are those the sneakers?
Yes, they are.
Could I see them? Don't get any closer. That's fine.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jeloni Thompson says her daughter's father, Carl McCaskill, vandalized her car during an argument.
Now, that's not so smart. You don't want to leave a baby
with
someone who doesn't want to keep her. That's what I'm suggesting to you. You can't force somebody to be a parent if they don't want to be a parent. I would rethink that. You're absolutely entitled to a life of your own. But if Mr. McCaskill is immature enough so that he feels as if this is somehow some kind of a burden off on me for the week, then I would make certain that a court gets involved in seeing how much and when your daughter spends time with each of her parents. Anyway, I don't see any major damage to the car.
But
I'm awarding you $50. Go buy some white paint. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
That's my daughter's mom, you know what I'm saying? Especially with my daughter in the car.
Don't want to talk.
I didn't try to blow her. I wouldn't hurt her at all.
Don't want to talk.
And I hope we can get back to the agreement. Like I said, I haven't seen my daughter in like a month now.
Don't want to talk.
I love my daughter. She tried to make it seem like I don't want her. I love my baby.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Demisar versus Davison. Step forward.
18-year-old Katie Demersar is suing her ex-boyfriend, 19-year-old Malik Davison, for an unpaid loan for Jordan tennis shoes, gas money, and for stealing items from her car.
Ms. Demisar, the long and short of your case is you claim you loaned the defendant money, or actually went shopping with him, and bought him a pair of very expensive sneakers, and you want him to pay you back. Mr. Davidson said that they were a gift, your idea, you were trying to show off because you liked him. Are those the sneakers?
Yes, they are.
Could I see them? Don't get any closer. That's fine. Okay, step back.
Do landscaping.
Full-time?
Part-time.
What do you do with the other time?
I focus on my football stuff. I play football, so...
For pleasure?
Yeah.
How old are you?
19.
You live at home?
Yes.
So your bills are paid for by your family?
Yes.
And the landscaping business you do all year?
Yes, I do it with my uncle.
So he pays you in cash?
Yes.
How much does he pay in cash?
It depends on what type of hours that I do.
Give me an example on a good week.
Okay, so a good week, for 2 days, I'll make like $204 just for 2 days. But through the whole week, I'll make like...
Not like. Eliminate like.
I'll make like $650.
And how many weeks do you work full-time?
About 3.
A year?
Oh, no. About 7 or 8.
I mean, you don't look like a bad person. You look like a nice person. You know, you make a couple of dollars. You probably don't pay any taxes on this money that your uncle gives you,
Right.
Which is all very, very nice. How much were the sneakers that you bought?
$190.
Okay. What do you do for a living?
I work at Panera.
Full-time?
Part-time. I'm going to school to be a nurse.
You live at home?
Yes.
So you have the same arrangement with your parents?
Yes, I do move out next month.
To where?
I'm going to school in Winona State.
So you're going to be going to school full-time?
Yes.
Did you pay for his sneakers with...
Mine.
Do you have a credit card?
Yes, I do.
Did you have your credit card with you when you went shopping for sneakers?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I had left my wallet
Left your wallet where?
home.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Oh, so you've been doing landscaping business since June in Rochester. It's the
Yeah.
only time you can do anything outdoors in Rochester. This would be the time. You're not doing landscaping in February in Rochester.
Right.
So why didn't you pay her back for the sneakers?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Katie Demersar says ex-boyfriend Malik Davison owes for Jordan tennis shoes, gas money, and stealing items from her car.
Now, why would you leave your wallet home?
Because I was rushing out the door.
Okay, good. And how long, Mr. Davidson, did you know the plaintiff before you went shopping for sneakers with her?
I known her for about a good 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Were you dating?
We was talking. We was like into the commits of being together.
Now, why don't you tell me what happened when you went to the sneaker store?
Okay, so these sneakers came out and
What do you mean they came out, they danced out by themselves?
No, no, they was released on a date that,
She didn't wear sneakers. Say they were released on the date that you wanted to get them.
yes,
Okay, so you went running to the store because you had to see these.
yes.
No.
I had to see these sneakers. And it was the last pair that was in Rochester. So,
The last pair
yes.
in all of Rochester.
Yes, size 11. And I said, I really want these sneakers. And, you know, she like, well, I'll get them for you as long as you pay me back. So I said, I don't really feel comfortable with that. I probably don't have the money to pay you back. And she was like, well, it's okay, you know, when you get the money, just pay me back. And I was like a little iffy about it, like, if I should say yes or no.
But you really wanted the sneakers.
Yes, I really wanted the sneakers.
So you took them.
Yes. Not took them, she paid for them.
She paid for them.
Yes.
And that was on what date?
It was June.
In June.
Yes.
Oh, so you've been doing landscaping business up the yin-yang since June in Rochester. It's the
Yeah.
only time you can do anything outdoors in Rochester. June, July. Yeah, so you're working
Yes.
all day, 5 days a week. This would be the time. You're not doing landscaping in February in Rochester.
Right.
So why didn't you pay her back for the sneakers?
Because it was a gift.
No, didn't you hear what you just told me, Mr. Davidson?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Have you been cheated? Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, you just told me it wasn't a gift. You said I'll pay you back when I have the money.
No, I said I was iffy about it.
I said you were iffy about it. What you said? You want me to play the tape back to you? That's exactly what you said to me. She said, I'll buy them for you if you'll pay me back the money. And you said, I don't know if I want to do it, but it's the last pair in the whole city of Rochester. And I really want them, but I don't have the money now. It's all right, I'll get them for you anyway. You pay me back when you can. And I was sort of iffy. But bottom line is, you're wearing the sneakers.
Right.
$190. Now, what else do you think he owes you for?
He also owes me for the gas he used when I had to give him rides everywhere.
Forget it. What else? Don't waste my time.
He stole my swimsuit, my sweatshirt, my Victoria's Secret sweatshirt out of my car. He stole food out of my car because I'm constantly working, so I have a
Judgment for the
stack of
plaintiff
food.
in the amount of $190. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused when they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
It wasn't true what he said, that I just gave him the shoes.
She said she was going to pay for the shoes. She paid for the shoes.
We made an agreement that he would pay me back on Friday.
You see what she did? You know, she came on and say, I did this, I was going to give her that, but really I didn't.
He
Her anymore.
He lied saying he was going to Winona State with me. That's why we connected.
Oh, apparently that's what it is, you know.
Didn't even graduate high school yet.
That's just to let you know you can't trust any female.
I won't deal with losers.
I was sitting next to him. He was hysterically crying.
Comforting a friend required big bucks.
He said that he would be losing his home. I happened to keep cash in my safe.
Now, can the judge make her feel better?
You believe that you owe her some money.
I don't think I owe her at this time now.
I have gone to the police department over 5 times.
I'm a little confused. I'm a little nervous.
I'll let you sit down, sir. Get unconfused and get unnervous.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Kimberly Sullivan is suing her former friend, James Spaulding, for a series of unpaid loans.
Order. All rise. Yeah, it's case number 118 on the calendar in the matter of Sullivan versus Spaulding.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat, huh?
Ms. Sullivan, I've read your complaint. According to that complaint, the defendant owes you $3,600.
That's correct.
And you and the defendant were friends. You had met through a mutual friend. According to you, he came to you at some point with a tragic story and his need for money.
Yes.
You want to tell me when that was?
September 24th, 2015.
How long had you known him?
About a year plus a few months.
Did he come to your house or did he call you on the phone?
He had called me. We had met, and he...
Where did you meet?
We met at his house.
This is
first.
untrue, Your Honor.
I don't want to hear you. There's no issue with regard to whether she gave you the money. You acknowledge she gave you the $3,600.
No.
Oh, yes, you did in your answer. You absolutely did. There's no question that you acknowledge that she gave you $3,600. You have a different story about the $3,600, but there's no issue that she gave you the money.
Okay. The first moment that Jay explained to me was at his home. I was sitting on his couch next to him. He was hysterically crying. He said that his home was going to be foreclosed on, that he would be losing his home. I knew that, in fact, there was a 6-year-old, I believe it's a nephew, that is living with them, that him and his wife take care of a child. I felt extremely bad and was very worried and concerned about the situation and agreed to get it back to me in a very timely fashion. He showed me the business card.
Okay, did you give him a check?
I gave him $2,500 cash. I gave him a check for $825 on September 24th.
That's an odd figure. You want to explain why?
He had been in serious money trouble. He said, I believe he has a car payment roughly of $400 a month. I'm not positive, but he needed a check to deposit. He had no money in his bank. He was fearful that he couldn't cash a check that large. I happened to keep cash in my safe because of emergencies. I went to Hurricane Katrina, realized cash is king.
Okay. Do you have a copy of that check?
I do.
I'd like to see it.
Your Honor, may I also tell you some other evidence that I have?
About the money, the cash itself?
Yes. Because of the large amount of cash, I said that I would need some kind of collateral. I had him sign over his pickup truck to me.
I'd like to see that.
I did not. I just put a nominal fee of $1,500 on it because it's worth so much more that if I was going to get the truck, I would make out better in the deal.
I don't know.
Well, anyway, here is the checks, and here is his signature. He signed it gladly when the cash was in his face. Here you go.
Okay. Any other proof of the money that you want to show me?
I just have a very messy checkbook register, and I can...
I see the $850.
Well, it's just that I write down notes. I put $2,500 cash to Jay. I had avoided a check at one point because I...
No. Not necessary.
And also, just so you were aware, I gave him quite a bit of time to come up with the money.
Just a second.
And I was very...
Just a second. I have a question. I know you have a drill.
Okay, sure.
I have a question. Did he ever repay any part of that money?
A total of $120.
When did he pay the $120?
When I was to pick up the pickup truck about 3 to 4 weeks ago.
This is untrue, Your Honor.
When you threatened to go and pick up his pickup truck?
Yes. I have retained an attorney in Manchester, New Hampshire.
Okay, so then he gave you one payment of $120.
Yes.
Now, do you have any proof of that payment of $120? No. You do not?
He has it, but I don't.
Was there anyone present when he gave you that $120 4 weeks ago?
No, there was not.
How was it communicated to him that you were going to pick up his truck?
Verbally by me and from the Candia Police Department. Times. I do have statements from the chief, and...
Is that a police report or just is a police report?
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
There's a couple of reports from the chief because the first time...
Don't tell me because...
Oh, no, I'm just saying the dates. The original was in November.
Just a second.
Okay. There you go.
Well, this is an email.
Well, if you look
From
behind it.
Shh. This is, if you could return that to her, please. Okay. Now I have two different stories that you told the police. So now I'm going to go to Mr. Spaulding. It is clear, Mr. Spaulding, that the plaintiff gave you money.
Yes, Your Honor.
It is also clear to me, based upon the police report, which includes statements from you, that you believe that you owe her some money.
I don't think I owe her at this time now.
Well, that's incorrect, based upon what you told the police.
I never went to see the police at all. I never was down there.
You told the police,
This is all
police chief, and you called him.
Who?
You called him.
He called me.
Oh, well, great. Perfect. See? Always step on your own tie. Now, you had a conversation with him, and you assured him that you were going to start to...
Absolutely.
Now, how much did you pay her?
Well, on some of the occasions...
Well is not an answer. I have a date on this.
Okay.
How much did you pay her?
On all right here, I've tried to pay her numerous times. I've had her phone hang up on me on occasions. What you're not hearing is the full truth. I did work for this lady.
She absolutely said that to the police the first time, which she didn't tell me.
Right.
She said she fronted you some money, and she fronted you some money to do work for her because you were...
Yes.
You were complaining that you were going to lose your house.
That is untrue.
Okay.
I never went to her and complained that I was going to lose my house.
Listen to me, sir. How old are you?
59 years old.
I'm older. I have plenty of places where I have workmen work for me.
Yes.
People that I know and trust who have companies, not people who are going to carry wood from the back to the front of the house like you allege you did.
More than that.
Pay attention. They never get paid up front. They get paid when the job is done. Now, they may get a certain amount of money if it's a huge job, if they're redoing a kitchen, if they're moving my house back 4 feet. They may get a startup money and then bill during the next 30 days. But they don't get the money up front. So there had to be a reason that she gave you this money up front. She tells me for yours why she gave you the money up front.
It was a down payment of $800. I have it right here on one of her receipts.
It was a down payment of what, $800 for what?
For work to be done at her home.
Just a second. I'm asking you a question.
And I did some work.
No, just a second. I'm asking you a
Go
question.
ahead, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
I never knew anybody
It was a down payment.
who was retaining somebody's services to do menial work, paying them up front for that work unless there was a reason. She gave me a cogent reason. I'm waiting for your reason. And if you tell me she paid me up front again because I was going to do some work for her, I'm telling you now I don't believe that.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I want to know who the last person was that you worked for and how much you made.
I can't tell you that right now. I'm a little confused. I'm a little nervous.
I'll let you sit down, sir. Get unconfused and get unnervous.
And later today,
This is baloney because there was no weekly room rental. There was a monthly rent of $830. You were playing around, Mr. Hayes. Don't play around because, you know, sometimes you play around and you can get burnt.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Kimberly Sullivan says for unpaid loans.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, it was a down payment.
It was a down payment.
Yes, and I did work there at her home, several different jobs.
Shh, just a second. Now, you're 59 years old, and what do you do for a living?
Handyman.
Who do you work for?
Just myself.
Have you always worked just for yourself?
No.
When was the last time you had a full-time
It was in
job?
2000s, early 2000s.
Okay. Do you receive any sort of disability?
No. Yes.
Do you receive any sort of disability? That's either yes or no.
No.
No. Well, I want to know who the last person was that you worked for and how much you made.
I can't tell you that right now. I'm a little confused. I'm a little nervous. And
I'll let you sit down, sir. Get unconfused and get unnervous.
But you know, I just want to clarify something with you, Your Honor.
No, I want an answer to my question, and you can sit down until you figure out who the last person you worked for.
I can't.
Listen, if you.
I can't tell you any part about my side of my defense. Then
I asked you a question. I said you make a living as a handyman.
Various people. I don't have names and addresses, ma'am, in front of me.
Not various people. I don't want.
I'm just telling you,
various names. I said I want the last.
I don't
person.
really recall the last
And it
person.
couldn't have been within the last month.
Yeah, there was work before her. I just can't think of who they were right now. You know, I didn't bring this evidence with me. Didn't.
For the amount of $3,600. We're done.
Thank you.
Parties are
Your Honor.
excused. You may step out.
I'm very pleased with her decision.
I feel that this was not treated in my fairness at all.
There's no reason someone would sign their car over for nothing.
I gave that to her as something with my name on it and told her that this truck had a lien on it, that it couldn't be taken.
I'm not going to lend any money to anybody.
She sat in there, she lied right through her teeth.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Proc versus Hayes. Step forward.
Liza Proc is suing her former landlord, Gregory Hayes, for the return of rent, hotel costs, lost wages, and stolen property.
Ms. Brock, you rented a room in the defendant's condo. Is it a condo?
It's a home.
House? Home?
Yes.
When did you rent the room?
September 19th, 2015.
How long did you stay with him?
I didn't get to be there for the full month, and it was intended to be a month-to-month tenancy.
I'm not following. How long did you stay there?
Less than 1 month.
And what was the rent?
$830 per month.
What date did you move in? On the 19th?
Yes.
And what day did you move out?
My belongings were moved on the evening of October 16th.
Okay. And I want you to tell me, Mr. Hayes, she moved out in less than a month. Do you want to tell me why?
Well, I put an ad in ground for a few days, and then when I came back, the first night, she proceeded to have this white noise to sleep with.
Listen to me. I just want you to tell me why she moved out. Did she move out voluntarily, or did you put her out?
I basically evicted her from a weekly rental.
You evicted her?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, she said the rental was $830 a month.
Yes.
How much money did she give you in September on the 19th when she moved in?
She gave me $830, and $600 was a security deposit approximately, and $200.
Show me that in writing, where $600 was security deposit.
Well,
show me
I just have a
check.
receipt.
That's incorrect.
I'd like to see it.
There was no deposit.
I'd like to see it. A signed receipt by her saying that $600 of the $830 was security deposit.
Well, it's not designated. I was in a hurry when I wrote this, but here's the receipt.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
That doesn't exist.
Shh. That's what it's worth, Mr. Hayes. I don't have this job because I'm foolish.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Is that your expertise in real estate law?
Yes.
But surprised that a reasonably intelligent man would put himself in this position in front of 10 million people.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Liza Proc says her former landlord, Gregory Hayes, owes for the return of rent, hotel costs, lost wages, and stolen property.
Now, you put her out before the end of the month because she was an annoying tenant. That's what I read in your answer. You didn't like the noise that she played at night in order for her to sleep. She plays a white noise, but it was a white noise that, according to you, sounded as if, well, you didn't use those words, like you were in the middle of 42nd Street. Nobody else could sleep in the house from her white noise. Lots of other things that were annoying, and you put her out.
Absolutely, Your Honor.
You put her out. You have to pay her rent back. Do you understand?
Well,
you have to.
I understand.
And that's just a start, because you can't unilaterally, you take in a tenant, and there are certain procedures that you have to go through. If you've taken her rent for the month, which you did, then you have to give her more than 2 days' notice that she has to leave.
I gave her 2 weeks.
Did you give her 2 weeks?
Yes.
Show me that you wanted her out at the end of the month.
This was served to her by my son, Trevor, and this is a notice that in 2 weeks she must move out. She was unwilling.
That doesn't exist either.
And I did use the civil procedure.
Well, first of all, this is baloney. Because giving you notice because your weekly room rental, there was no weekly room rental, there was a monthly rent of $830. You were playing around, Mr. Hayes. Don't play around because, you know, sometimes you play around and you can get burnt. The rental agreement was based on a weekly rental of $207. That, Mr. Hayes, is baloney. Now, your loud noise is beyond limits, and you have threatened some of my guests. That may be. But the weekly rental baloney is just that. It's baloney. And you had no right to put her out. She's entitled to minimally her $830 back. Now, when he put you out, prior to the termination of the 1 month, giving you no legitimate notice.
Right.
And I'm very rarely sympathetic in this kind of situation, but I am sympathetic with you because if he's not getting along, if he tried to do it legitimately, he would have been okay. But instead, he went into this convoluted argument that the $830 was not monthly rent, but it was $207 a week. Now, document, at least you should have your figures right, because a weekly rent based upon 4.3 weeks in a month is $193.02, not $207. You got it?
In real estate law, you use 30 days.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what if there are 31 days in a month, sir?
You still use 30 days.
Is that your expertise in real estate law?
I have a license in real estate.
Is that your expertise in real estate law?
Yes.
Is it?
Yes, Your Honor.
$193.02. That's weekly rent divided by 4.3 weeks, which there are on average a month. That's why your whole story is baloney. Surprised at you, Mr. Hayes. I'm surprised, not surprised that you tried to do it, but surprised that a reasonably intelligent man would put himself in this position in front of 10 million people.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Okay, so you were put out. Where did you go when you were put out?
I had no place to go.
Where did you go?
I initially went to a friend's.
Okay, and how long did you stay with the friend?
For the one night.
And then?
I found motels to stay in. I had no friends or other options.
How long?
I became many months of not knowing where I was staying, not knowing where I was.
Where did you live before you lived with Mr. Hayes?
I was occupying a room in another place in North County, San Diego.
Where were you before you moved into Mr. Hayes' room?
I was living in Vista, California.
How long were you there and what address?
I was there approximately a year and a half.
Why did you leave there?
Interested in moving into Encinitas.
What kind of work do you do, Miss?
I work as a consultant, events, promotions. It's projects and gigs, very sporadic.
How do you support yourself?
I work projects and gigs. So I look on the internet, get hired by different companies to work and manage and execute their events.
And where are you living now?
I'm staying with family in another part of the county.
Since when?
Since February.
What items were taken?
Honestly, I'm not sure what they may have taken because they dismantled my room behind my back. So I just put everything safely into a storage unit.
So you don't know what items were taken?
Right.
You don't know?
I hope.
Okay.
I hope minimally nothing, but I'm still honestly not sure because what was my bedroom became a storage unit, and I can show you that photo in Carlsbad. So he moved out behind my back.
I'm issuing a judgment for
storage.
$2,330, and I'm basing it on the month that she did not, in fact, live there, but she paid you for, and $1,500 for the illegal eviction. We're done here. Thank you.
All right, Judge, excuse me, step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Liza Prock is a scam artist, and it's all over the internet.
There's fictitious information.
I was really scared for myself in my own home with this person living there.
The son and the dad lived in the home, and it was a 2-on-1 situation. I was very scared.
She stayed for a month, and she paid for a month. Bottom line.
The bottom line is I have been made homeless, and I'm very skeptical of living with anyone ever again.
Mr. Cormier seems to think that you scammed him out of a car.
This buyer barely got to hit the road.
I bought it off of Craigslist. I got incarcerated about 4 days afterwards.
Then,
Now you're suing him.
did the car's seller strike again?
He resold a vehicle that was not his.
You have the Mustang back?
No, ma'am. I never saw the Mustang after he took it.
So why are we here?
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Keith Cormier is suing William Bosch for the...
Order. All rise. It's case number 119 on the calendar, the matter of Cormier versus Bolch.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. All right, it's been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Well, this is actually a pretty confusing car case, even for me. So maybe, Mr. Cormier, you can make it easier for me. You purchased a car from Mr. Bolch. When? Month, day, and year?
It was September 18th, 2014.
And you had not known him before?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Balch, what kind of work do you do, sir?
I'm in the oil field, oil and gas.
And do you have your own company or do you work for somebody?
No, ma'am, it's my own company.
And how long have you had that company?
10 years.
Prior to that, did you work for someone else?
No, ma'am, I had another company.
Same kind of business?
Yes, ma'am.
Different location?
Yes, ma'am, Laredo, Texas.
Mr. Balch, I'm going to ask you a series of questions. I just want to figure out who you are. Who is this young man?
This is my son.
You live with your son? You have family? You have other children?
Yes, ma'am. I have 5 sons and 3 daughters, and 2 foster kids, David and Diana.
Have you ever been convicted of a felony, Mr. Bosch?
No, ma'am.
Have you ever been convicted of a misdemeanor, Mr. Bosch?
No, ma'am.
I'm asking you these simple questions because I think that you scammed him out of a car that you sold to him on the 18th of September, 2014. So I'm trying to get an idea of who you are and whether this is something that was a typical thing for you to do. Now, what kind of a car did you sell him, Mr. Bosch?
It was a Mustang.
Had you had it for a long time?
A couple of years.
How old was it?
I guess it was around 10 years old.
And how much did you sell it for to Mr. Cormier?
$3,500.
So far, we are correct, Mr. Cormier.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
far, correct. And you didn't know him before?
No, ma'am.
You saw the car parked in the street?
No, I bought it off of Craigslist.
And you looked at it?
Yes,
And
ma'am.
when you went, you gave him cash for it?
Yes, ma'am.
He doesn't deny that he gave him cash, and he gave you the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Did he also give you the title to the car?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had the car and the title.
Yes, ma'am.
And it was titled in his name?
Yes, ma'am.
And he signed the title over to you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now you can pick it up from there.
I can probably need a little bit of help. I got incarcerated about 4 days afterwards. It was at my mom's house, and she was trying to sell it. She knows a little bit more as far as details.
Fine. So you were incarcerated for how long?
14 or 15 months.
So you don't know what happened to the car after 14 or 15 months yourself?
No, ma'am.
But you were... Now step up. Your last name is?
Cormier.
All right, Miss Cormier. Now, your son is incarcerated for a year and a half. He has this Mustang that he has just purchased for $3,500. Pick up the story. Why is Mr. Bosch here today?
About a week or so after my son was incarcerated, I think it started raining. The Mustang had holes in the roof, and I had no key to it. The key was with my son down in Galveston, about 250 miles away. He suggested I contact Mr. Bolsh to see if he have a spare key, which he did. We met at his office, got the spare key. I explained to him I wasn't really sure about what I was going to do with the title. I needed to know the disposition of my son's case, if I would put it in my name, if I was going to sell it. You know, there was lots of different variables going on. And so we had faxed each other, had called each other on the cell phone. I got the key back.
So the bottom line is your son never registered the car in his name before he was incarcerated.
Right.
The title is in your son's name.
Correct.
And you did not register the car.
No, ma'am.
Okay. And he, Mr. Balsh, gave you the spare key that you requested.
Mm-hmm.
What's next?
Probably a month or so later, my son's girlfriend, a friend of hers who lived with her dad, wanted to buy the vehicle on payments. And then about a month or so later, and I relayed that to Mr. Bolsh.
He has nothing to... Well, I don't know why. I don't know why. There would be no reason to let him know somebody else wanted to buy the car.
Right.
On payments. And the car is no longer his. He has turned over the title to your son.
I'm assuming, I thought maybe he may want to know why he hadn't received the, you know, they send a copy of the title, I think.
Oh, you mean because it had not been taken out of his name yet, despite the fact that he had turned it over to you. If you or this girl that was wanted to buy it on payments drove around with it and didn't register it, if the car got into an accident, his business is liable. He's liable. His children are liable. His family is liable. So you...
It was a courtesy on my part, I believe.
It wasn't a courtesy. The right thing to do had been to register the car so that he, who had sold you the car, no longer has any liability. Now it's your liability or your son's liability.
My son's, it's in his name.
Well, it's in his name. But then you were going to increase his liability by selling the car to someone who wanted to buy it on payments. Did you sell it to that person?
I never fully got to. He asked to take it to a shop, which he did. He gave me $300 or $400, and I haven't seen it.
Who's he?
This person named Adam. He lived with my son's girlfriend's father in a little town supposedly outside of San Antonio to his shop to have it looked at. I haven't seen it since. He was arrested soon after that.
And?
Well, that's the car.
That's
just a second.
And so I started looking for it.
Just a second.
I started looking for the vehicle. I've got search results. I drove around looking for it.
So now, because of both of your irresponsible behavior, I'm just following this because of both of yours, his and yours. I don't care about the car. You have a businessman who's got a gaggle of children that he supports. If this car is in an accident and kills somebody, if this car gets tickets, if this car has any involvement with the police authorities, they're coming after him. Outrageous, actually. Not malicious. I don't think you did it maliciously. But you do have to recognize that you exposed him. Now you're suing him. You have the Mustang back?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever get the Mustang back?
I never saw the Mustang after he took it.
So why are we here?
Because when I found the Mustang on Craigslist in July of 2015, I called the Pflugerville where it was. I called the police department. They said because it wasn't in my name, I needed to go to the DMV and get a certified copy of it, which I did the next day. On the certified copy, and I've got copies of it, I have on May 1st, 2015, Mr. Bolch went and applied for a duplicate title. May 15th, he resold it to a Freddie. He resold a vehicle that was not his.
Well, somebody with his name did that. And maybe it was Adam.
Adam is in jail. He's in prison.
Just a second. Or maybe Adam's mother. Oh, who knows?
Looks the same.
No, ma'am. I'm sorry.
I'll take a look. Did you resell the car?
No, ma'am, I did not.
Did you apply for a duplicate title?
Yes, I did.
Okay, when? Tell me when you applied for a duplicate title and why.
I guess that was May 1st, 2015.
Yes.
And my son, David, he was at this time involved.
Just a second.
Okay.
Do you know what happened with the duplicate title?
Yes, ma'am. Once we got the duplicate...
Why did you get a duplicate title?
She had called us.
You mean Mrs. Cormier?
Mrs. Cormier had called us, informed us that she had lost the title. No. Once that had happened,
I'm sorry.
My dad had then gone to the DMV.
Just a second. She said she lost the title.
Yes, ma'am. She said...
Oh, just a second. Well, if you gave Adam the car to take to his shop, listen to me carefully, Miss Cormier.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
If you gave Adam the car to take to his shop just to look at it, you would not have given Adam the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, one of the things you're supposed to do, Mr. Bosch, is put in the date of the sale, because you signed this, as did Mr. Keith Cormier, but you didn't put in the date of this sale. It's a good idea that you do that. Okay, so now she has her copy of this.
Original.
So now my question is, why would she call you for a duplicate title?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Where had the car been impounded?
Once was with her son. I don't know if they parked it. All I know is we got a phone call, and Mrs. Cormier was trying to get it out of impound.
I believe everything he says.
And later today...
Why didn't you give her the car and put the car in her name?
Well, she wasn't around at the time, so I just went on and put it into my name at the time, and then when we found her, then we was going to do the transfer.
You think I'm buying the story?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Keith Cormier says William Bosch owes for the return of money he paid for a Mustang.
Go ahead.
Mrs. Cormier had then informed us that her son Keith was drunk. That is the story that we got. We didn't ask no questions about it. We said, okay, but once we get this duplicate, we expect this car to be changed over.
Now, my question to you is, did she ever tell you that her son was incarcerated?
She did. We then asked if we could switch the title in her name. She made the date. She said, next Tuesday I'll be free. When she said that, we waited. We worked 2 blocks from the DMV. We said, we'll drive you over, we'll sign everything over there, and you can get it done. She never appeared on that date. She called 2 weeks later, and then we rescheduled it again. She did this a number of times, and she never appeared while it's still registered in Dad's name.
It's no longer registered in your name?
Not no more.
Now, is it registered in the name of either of these 2 people? Do you know?
Nope.
No.
Do you know that it's not?
Yes.
In whose name is the car registered?
Freddie.
And do you know who that is?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is it?
It is a fellow who contacted me. He ran our license plate because the car was impounded twice.
Car was impounded?
Impounded twice. He contacted me, said he traded his car. He's about 17 at this time, and at the time that he contacted me, and gave him that car with no title. So he ended up getting pulled over, and they asked him who Bill Balch was.
Do you remember the date of the call from Freddie?
It was around May 15th, because that's the day that we transferred. So it was about a 15-day stretch.
May 15th of what year?
2015.
Did you ever receive any impound bills for your car?
No, ma'am.
Where had the car been impounded?
Once was with her son, Freddie, in San Antonio. That's where the car was impounded at. I don't know if they parked it. All I know is we got a phone call, and Mrs. Cormier was trying to get it out of impound.
I believe everything he says. I believe everything he says.
Wow.
Right, good. So I don't know where your car is. You should take responsibility. You got busted. Your mother did not take appropriate caution so that Mr. Bosch had no responsibility for your car. You didn't take proper precaution. Your son didn't take proper precaution. And I find that neither one of these two people had anything to do with getting your car impounded, getting the title transferred, and reselling it. I don't see any evidence of that. None. Your case is dismissed. We're done.
I have a picture right here that shows that the car is parked in front of my mom's house, October 2015.
We are done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
They saw him as an easy target, and they could take a quick dollar.
They're saying that he was driving the vehicle and the title flew out the window, and I made these bogus phone calls.
You cannot trust everybody, but you know what? It can't ruin your optimism about life and people.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Dickerson versus Falls. Step forward.
Robbie Dickerson is suing his sister, Shalonda Falls, for unpaid traffic tickets.
Mr. Dickerson, you bought a car, put it in your sister's name. This is your sister.
Yes, miss.
Who paid for the car?
I did.
If you paid for the car, were you making a gift to your sister of the car?
Yes.
And why were you making a gift to your sister of the car?
So my dad can be ran from point A to point C. So that's what I was doing.
Well, but the car is kept in your name, so if you were making a gift to your sister, why didn't you give her the car and put the car in her name?
Well, she wasn't around at the time.
What do you mean she wasn't around?
She wasn't around at the time when I went and purchased the vehicle.
Oh, that's okay.
So I just went on and put it into my name at the time. And then when we found her, then we was going to do the transfer and switch everything into her name when we found her.
You think I'm buying this story? I'm not buying this story at all, so far.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
All I want to know is what proof do you have? Okay. First thing you have to show me is proof that he called Child Protective Services.
Well, I don't have proof that he did it.
Well, that's all I need. That's what I need for your counterclaim.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Robbie Dickerson says his sister, Shalonda Falls, owes for traffic tickets. Shalonda is countersuing for a false CPS report.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I bought the vehicle.
Oh, I know you bought the vehicle, and the vehicle is in your name.
Correct.
And she drives the vehicle, and she got parking tickets.
Correct.
When she got the car, okay? You want the car back?
No, miss.
Well, because this car is still in your name, right?
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
So you just get a marshal and you go and get the car.
Correct.
If it's your car.
Correct.
But your sister's going to tell me another reason that you didn't put the car in your sister's name. Do you have a driver's license?
I have a driver's license.
Why didn't he put the car in your name?
Because it's his car. He's not trying to give it to me.
Oh,
Right.
fine. Then that's very easy. Then you were driving the car.
Yes, I'll show for my dad.
Good. And you got tickets.
Yes, I
While
did.
you were driving.
I got one ticket.
You got a ticket, so you have to pay for it.
Right.
Right. Why didn't you pay for it?
I went to court for that ticket. It's right here. I got proof. It got thrown out.
It got thrown out?
It got thrown out.
I'd like to see it. February 9th, 2015, cell phone use while driving. Is that the ticket?
No, miss.
No, this is no, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Very good. So if that's not the ticket that
That's
you're
the only
talking
ticket
about,
that I
this
got.
was a cell phone use and motor vehicle
Here's
without
all the
operated
tickets in
without
collection.
insurance was dismissed.
This is Alliance 1 with the collections, and then the tickets are right here. So sorry.
Great.
This is all the information for the tickets.
Can I say something?
No.
Okay.
All these different tickets.
Right. Them are not mine. Everybody else drives that truck. His twin brother, my daughter, everybody has drove that truck, and they still drive it. I'm not the only one that drives that truck. So that's not my tickets.
Well, just a second. Just a second. Hold on. So other people use the vehicle?
Yes, correct.
Okay. I am going to suggest to you, Mr. Dickerson, that unless you could prove to me that she has sole custody of this and nobody else is permitted to drive it since the car is in your name, and what she says is...
These tickets are photo enhancement tickets. Our officer is not there present at... Because she's the only licensed driver who drive the vehicle at the time. My dad can't drive. He has to have
No, that's
one
not
foot.
what she's saying. She's not saying your dad drives. She says that there are other people that drive...
There's no other people that live in the home. That's a lie, Your Honor.
They don't have to live in the home to drive the car. What I'm going to suggest to you is take the car back. Do you understand? What kind of car did you buy?
It was a 99 Chevrolet Tahoe.
Great. And you still drive it?
No, I have my own vehicle.
Just where is the car now?
The vehicle is still at the house where she lives at.
Get it?
It's out of my name.
Well, whose name is it in?
The ticket, it's in my dad's name and her at the time when the tickets was present.
Oh, just a second. So at the time that these...
Yes, miss. They was already out of my name.
So it's out of your name?
Yeah.
And it never was in my name.
Yeah,
Great.
but they're coming back into me.
Okay. You have a counterclaim that he filed false child protective services?
Yes.
Against you? I got 30 seconds before lunch.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you in a family dispute? Go to judgejudy.com, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, waking me and my children up, stating they had to check on my kids because I was falsely neglecting my kids. He was the CPS worker. I have proof that the case is closed.
Just a second. All I want to know is what proof do you have?
Okay, well, he did this because of the ticket.
Shh. Just a second.
Okay.
First thing you have to show me is proof that he called Child Protective Services.
Well, I don't have proof that he did it.
Well, that's all I need. That's what I need for your counterclaim. Proof that he called Child Protective Services. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $498 for the tickets. Counterclaim is dismissed.
Thank you,
This
Your
is
Honor.
lunch. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you.
Parties are excused. May step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I'm just glad it's over. It's ridiculous because it's family.
I'm happy that I received my justice.
It's hurting me because we're not close like we used to, and I would never do that to them.
I still love my sister, and my family's gonna always be family.
I just hope that it's all over and we just get close back like we was and just move on.
She know I love her. Get ready.
Glad it's over.
Mario came up to me and said, "Give me your car keys," threateningly.
Why would he threaten you? He was your friend.
Carjacked by his classmate?
Your Honor, he's lying.
I actually don't believe a whole bunch of what he's saying to me.
Or just steering clear of mom?
I never asked him for the keys because he tells me to switch seats with him.
Your son is a fibber.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Lisa Johnson is suing her son's former classmate, 18-year-old Mario Ramirez, for wrecking her son's car when he forced her son to let him drive it.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 121 on the calendar, the matter of Johnson versus Ramirez.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. You can sit down.
You are only here because you own the car.
Yes.
You weren't there during the course of the incident.
No.
But this is what you say in your complaint. What you say in your complaint is that this young man is responsible for your car being crashed.
Yes.
Good. Now you can have a seat. This is your son. He had your car that day, correct?
Correct.
Tell me your first name.
Andre Johnson.
Andre?
Johnson.
Your first name?
Mario,
How old are you, Mario?
18.
How old are you?
19.
You both go to the same school?
Yeah.
3 years.
Mario, have you ever been to Andre's house?
Only once.
When?
I don't remember the date.
Recently?
No.
A while ago?
Yeah, you could say that.
Were you there as an invited guest? Did
Yes.
you go to a party?
It was an invited guest.
Do you remember that?
No.
You don't remember?
No.
Did you ever have a party at your house?
No, ma'am.
Was he ever at your house?
No.
Were you ever at his house?
Yes.
When was the last time you were at Mario's house?
It would be a while ago, ma'am.
How long ago? A month? 2 months?
Like, maybe like a few months. Like, 5 months.
What were you doing at his house?
Just hanging out.
And when you say hanging out, you were hanging out with who else?
Just him, Your Honor.
Just Mario?
Yes.
Did you play video games? Did you?
Just watch sports and TV.
How many times have you been to his house? Altogether, in the last 2 years? More than 5 or less than 5?
Around like 5. Just a minimum 5.
And those times hanging around? Just hanging around watching TV?
Yes.
Now, how come Mario never came to your house?
He was uninvited.
Why?
Because of the car.
You mean because of this accident?
Yes.
I want to know before that.
Oh.
I mean, you telling me that you were at Mario's house after the accident?
No.
Was he at your house after the accident?
I believe he was. I wasn't there present, but my father told me he was there.
After this accident, was the plaintiff there at your house? Oh, that's the only time he came.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you again. You used to hang out in Mario's house. Why was he never a guest in your house?
Because my mom, she didn't trust him. That's why.
Your mom didn't like him?
Yes.
Okay. Did your mom know that you were going to his house?
Yes, because...
Just a second. Did you tell your mom that you were at his house hanging out?
Yes, because even though she didn't trust him, I did. I felt like...
Andre.
Yes, ma'am.
I know you think you're going to try to get the story straight in your head.
Yes.
But you're not going to be able to, because I've been doing this questioning too long. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, the reason that Mario didn't come out and hang out in your house is because your mother didn't like him.
Yes.
But you liked him.
Yes.
So you would go to his house.
Yes.
Did you tell your mother that you were going to his house? Is my question. If your mother didn't like him as a friend for you, if that were my judgment, I would say, well, I'd rather have him in my house so I could sort of know what was going on rather than my son going to his house. So I'm going to ask you again. Don't try to figure out where I'm going. Did you tell your mother that you were hanging out in Mario's house?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
At the time you were doing it?
Yes.
And what did your mother say?
Be careful.
Be careful. Okay. But you had nothing to be careful about.
Violence on our streets.
We what?
We have, like, violence, like, not a lot, but around where we live, so...
That's not what I'm asking you. You weren't at his house because of violence. You were at his house because you liked him.
Yes.
Did you also like him in school?
Yes.
Got it? I'm looking at you because the first line in your complaint is, Mario went to high school with my son, Andre. He has been bullying my son for the past year, and my son is completely intimidated by him. That's the way we start out. But that's really not true. Your son liked him. He was his friend, and he used to go and hang out at his house. And whether he told you or not, I don't know. But it's not true, because he wouldn't go to his house to hang out if he was intimidating him. We understand each other, Andre?
Yes.
Now, you were driving your mother's car on the day of the accident. I want you to tell me what happened, and be careful.
Okay. It was on Thursday at 8:30.
Thursday at?
8:30, ma'am.
In the morning?
Yes. And I was hanging with my friends.
Which friends?
Aaron, Sergio, Judy, Javier. And Mario came up to me. That's because when I got my car...
Mario came up to you and?
He asked me for my car, threateningly.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He wasn't. Why would he threaten you? He was your friend.
Because that's why I didn't have my car changed.
When did you get your car?
I got it January, last year.
January?
Yes.
That's a long time ago. You've been to his house after you got your car. According to you. According to what you said to me before. You've been to his house since you got your car.
Sorry, ma'am. I misspoke. Not last year, this year.
You've still been to his house since you got the car. According to what you told me before. You said a few months ago. January's a long time ago.
I misspoke. I meant this year.
I know this year.
Okay.
So you're with your friends and?
And Mario came up to me and, like, said, give me your car keys, like, threateningly.
And?
And I gave them to him.
And he took your car alone?
No, there were 2 other people.
Where was Javier? Was he in the car?
No.
What about Sergio? Was Sergio in the car?
No, they have their own cars.
No, did he get in the car?
No.
So who got in the car with Mario?
A girl named Judy and I don't know the other girl's name.
2 girls?
Yes.
Not you?
No.
Go.
And they took off, and it was around 8:39 that Sergio ran up to me and said they got in an accident. And my friend Rodrigo drove me to the scene of the accident, and I saw the damage. And during...
Go.
Your Honor, he's lying. It was Thursday, March. Yulisa wanted to go get donuts.
Who wanted to go get donuts?
Yulisa. And I never asked him for the keys because he was the one that was driving to the donut shop. I was the passenger. She was the one in the back seat. We drove over there. We got the donuts. We're coming back to school. Andre's driving. His brakes don't work. He hits another car. He's panicking. He tells me that to switch seats with him. He wanted me to switch seats with him because he didn't want to get his car insurance. He didn't want to get anything with his mother. He didn't want to...
I want to see a police report.
I have a ticket right here stating that I didn't have a license because I took the fault for him. And it was a $400 ticket unless I got my license, which I did in less than a month, and I paid $25.
That's very nice. You told the police you were driving?
Yes, because I took the fault for him.
You're responsible for the accident. Then you're responsible for the accident, Mario. I actually don't believe a whole bunch of what he's saying to me. And I actually don't know who was driving, but if you told the police, if you swore to the police that you were driving, you're responsible. You understand that? You lie, you got to tell it all the way through. And you paid a ticket. And you paid a fine, and you got your license. And your son is a fibber. Don't believe everything he tells you. Now, I want to see the police report.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today,
that we finally caught. She was claiming that it wasn't hers, but it was hers.
Just to say, not an it,
rat.
not an it. Can I see
yes.
photographs?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. 19-year-old Andre Johnson says his former classmate, Mario Ramirez, drove his car without permission and wrecked it.
Now, I want to see the police report.
There was no police report. There's a collision report that clearly states that Mario was the driver. I also have pictures of the car if you want to see it. And a letter from my insurance company saying that they denied it because Mario was not an insured driver on my car.
But
Mario gave my insurance
Mario
company...
didn't have a license.
Right.
Okay. Now, what kind of car was this?
The 2001 Toyota Camry.
Where is the car now?
It's stalled in my garage.
It's what?
It's in my driveway, I'm sorry. It's stalled. It doesn't work.
I'd like to see a photo of it. I'd like to see the estimate for the damage. There.
Here, highlight it right there.
Just for my own information, would you take a look and see the value of the 2001 Toyota Camry? An LE.
Your Honor, on May the 9th, I called Mario and I spoke to Mario, and he admitted to me that he did it and that he told me he would pay for it as soon as he got money.
$15.25. $15.25.
Judge, for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,525.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, step out.
I don't know how she did that, but I was not driving at all.
Mario did admit to me that he took the car.
Andre was the one that was driving. His brakes didn't work,
and that, you know, he wrecked it.
His brakes didn't work, and he hit the other car.
He's lying.
Didn't lie. Telling the truth.
Choose your friends wisely.
Yes, because I took the fault for him.
Because you could say someone's your friend, and the next thing you know, they total your car.
Just tell the truth.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of McCants versus McCrae. Step forward.
Edna McCants is suing her step-granddaughter, 23-year-old Kimberly McCrae, for unknown and rodent disposal fees.
Miss McCants, is this your step-granddaughter?
Yes.
Why don't you stand up? You're married to her grandfather?
No, her father is married to my daughter.
Got it. And you're sort of close to her,
yes.
I gather. And this is her sister.
That's correct.
And your granddaughter was staying in a condo that you have. Were you renting it? Mm-hmm. How much rent were you paying?
$787 a month.
And then you let your sister move in with you?
Yes.
When?
May 2014.
And you knew about that?
Yes.
And at some point, Miss McCrae needed some money, and you loaned her some money. How much money did she loan you?
$5,000.
And how much did you pay back?
I had originally paid back the full $5,000 and then had asked for $1,000 of it back.
When did you pay back the $5,000, and why did you need the $5,000?
It was a loan on my tax return, and I paid her back 2 or 3 days after receiving the loan because I got my loan back faster. I had gotten my...
What did you need the money for?
Bills, certain things like that. I had asked for a smaller amount, but because I was getting my tax return, she offered the $5,000.
And what did you need the $1,000 back for?
To purchase a vehicle so that I could have a way of...
She said, okay, here's the $1,000 back.
Yes.
Did you pay her back?
No.
Why not?
Things started happening.
Things. Okay. So you're not going to give me any convoluted story. Great.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
How many children do you have?
2.
Are you taking care of the children now?
Yes.
You work? No, that's it. When anybody hesitates when I say, do you work, and they go, oh, I always know there's a no there.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Edna McCann says step-granddaughter Kimberly McCrae owes for rent and late fees, a loan, and rodent disposal fees.
So you still owe her the $1,000?
I do not believe that I owe her the $1,000.
Okay. Now you're going to get into that convoluted story that we were talking about a minute ago. You want to tell me why?
I had originally moved into the condo because my sister, Sarah...
This is going to come back to the $1,000, right?
Yes.
Okay. You have to remember that you told me a whole different story in your answer about why you don't owe her the $1,000. So you probably don't remember what you told me, so now you're going to tell me another story. So I'm just going to put my pen down and listen to it. Why don't you owe her the $1,000?
In short, she was more lenient with having children and things like that.
Why were you having children if you needed money? I mean, that's not the way to not need money, have more children.
Accidents happen. I see it as a blessing rather than an accident.
Well, you said the word accident. I didn't say accident. You said accident.
It wasn't necessarily intentional, but I wasn't just going to...
How many children do you have?
2.
How old are you?
6 and 10 days.
No, how old are you?
23.
23. Okay. Are you taking care of the children now?
Yes.
You work? No, that's it. When anybody hesitates when I say, do you work, and they go, oh, I always know there's a no there.
Ma'am, I'm an independent contractor as a cleaning lady, and when I got pregnant, I had to take leave because of the chemicals that I use and the physical labor that I was put in. So currently I'm on leave from work, but yes, I am employed.
Do you get a paycheck every week, every 2 weeks?
Not while I'm on leave, no.
Then you're not working. Who do you live with other than your 2 children?
Justin Cook, my
Does he work?
Yes.
Great. What kind of work does he do?
He's a general utility at Applebee's, the restaurant.
How long has he been there?
A few months, close to 6 months.
Great. So you owe the plaintiff $1,000. Fine. Now you can sit. Now, according to you, they owe for unpaid rent.
That's correct.
After your granddaughter moved out, you signed a lease with just the defendant or with the defendant? So just her?
Right.
Do you have a copy of that lease?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at it. Thank you. Did you move out in December of 2015?
I moved out in January of 2016.
January what?
I believe it was the 15th.
Monthly rent is $787?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you pay rent for January?
No, I did not.
Did you pay rent in December?
No, I did not. I was dealing with a pest problem.
Did you pay rent in November?
I believe so, yes.
How much?
$787.
Okay, so you didn't pay rent December and January,
Yes,
and you
ma'am.
moved out in January.
Yes, ma'am.
Stand up, please. How long had you lived in your grandmother's condo?
7 years.
In the 7 years that you lived there, had you had a pest problem?
No.
How long did you live there along with Miss McCrae and her children and her mate?
Originally, it was just her and one child, and she lived there about a year, give or take a month or 2.
And when did you move out?
June of 2015.
Up until the time you moved out in June of 2015, and she was living there for that year, did you have a pest problem?
No.
So it was because you had a pest problem?
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of pest?
Rats.
Now, you have any written communication that you made with your landlord with regard to the rats?
No, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So you owe her so far $2,574 just for what you've accounted for with regard to the $1,000 loan and 2 months' rent.
I still do not believe that I owe her that money.
I don't care what you believe. It's irrelevant what you think you owe her. That's what you owe her. You owe her $1,000 for the loan that she was kind enough to make to you, and you owe her 2 months' rent. But you acknowledge that you didn't pay. I don't care about late fees, loan you got. Okay. Now, the other thing that you're requesting is rodent disposal fees. What are rodent disposal fees?
Is the rat that we finally caught. She was claiming that it wasn't hers, but everyone that I talked to said...
No, you can't tell me what anybody else said.
It was hers.
Just to
and
say,
it's
not
a
an
white
it,
rat.
not an it. Can I see the photographs?
There's a bucket. There's one. I don't know where. And this is where the rat...
So it was one rat?
That's all that was in the house when she moved out. That is correct.
I had caught and disposed of some myself. I owned a mouse, but mice and rats are not the same.
What?
I said I had disposed of some myself already before I had moved out of the condo, and I had owned a mouse, but mice and rats are not the same.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,574. We're done.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
Mr. Comier seems to think you scammed him.
He resold a vehicle that was not his.
You have the Mustang back?
I never saw the Mustang after he took it.
So why are we here?
Next Judge Judy.
I don't feel like I owe Miss McCants any money because I had a rat problem. I told her that I had a rat problem and that it needed to be taken care of.
Never, never, ever, never.
She said that she would take care of it.
I would have moved her and her son out, and I would have had it taken care of.
Nothing.
As soon as I knew it was there, I hired someone to get rid of the rat.
She hasn't really liked me specifically because my dad married her daughter.
No, and her dad and my daughter have been together for 23 years. I mean, that has...
Broken up over the whole fact anyway, so...
Oh, it's gone. I have no relationship with her anymore.
I'm just gonna walk away from it, pay her money.
She made it very clear.
Hope it just dies off.
I don't even know. She won't talk to me.
Time to go separate ways.
Did she evict you in October?
She sent me an eviction letter, yes.
A landlord tired of waiting for rent money.
And you received no money for November?
Correct.
What happened in November?
November, my money was stolen out of my account.
Now this tenant says she helped herself.
She's the only one that had my information. My money was gone. She's the only one that had my PIN, all my social, everything. She stole my money and then tried to evict me for it.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Kadisha Fong is suing her former landlord, Juanita Klingensmith, for stolen money and unlawful eviction, discrimination, and harassment.
Order. All rise. Yeah, this is case number 156 on the calendar in the matter of Fong versus Klingensmith.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in.
If I understand your complaint, you rented an apartment from the defendant. How many apartments do you have?
I have a sixplex, Your Honor.
That you own?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. When did you first see the apartment?
August 27th.
Is that when you first met Miss Klingensmith?
Yes.
You liked the apartment?
It was okay.
So you decided to rent it. And the rent was how much a month?
$750.
And you were going to be living there with?
My daughter.
When did the lease start?
August 27th.
Is that when you moved in?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
This is what your lawsuit is about. You claim that Miss Klingensmith stole money from your disability account.
Yes, ma'am.
Which was rent money, $750, and then evicted you for non-payment of rent. So you are suing her for that theft?
Yes.
As well as an illegal eviction?
Correct.
Ms. Klingensmith said, I never stole any money from her. I didn't take money out of her account. She's counterclaiming for some damage that was done to the property when you moved out. Okay. Was there any security deposit?
Yes,
paid?
I gave her $400 security deposit.
Did you get that back?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So you moved in August. Did you pay any rent for August?
Yes, it was prorated.
Okay, so you paid August rent. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you paid September's rent?
Yes, ma'am.
On time?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
What about October?
It was late, due October 13th.
And rent was due on the 1st?
It was due on before, it was late before, yeah, it was due on the 1st, but late after the 3rd.
Late after the 3rd. Did she evict you in October?
She sent me an eviction letter, yes.
In October?
Yes, two of them.
On what date?
October the 6th and October the 7th.
So what did you do?
I ended up paying my rent on the 13th. I had my disability. I was coming from Sacramento to move to Reno, so I had to transfer over my disability payments, and it took the Social Security a minute to do that. And I told Ms. Klingsmith that when I moved in, she knew I got disability, and this would happen, you know, during.
You can't tell me what she she knew. All she knew was you paid her rent in August, and you paid her rent on time in September, and in October you did not.
Right.
So after, I assume, you got these eviction notices, you called her?
No, I didn't call her. I just called her. Well, yeah, I called her to pay the rent on the 13th.
On the 13th. So what did you do when you...
Oh, I tried to speak to her a couple of times to tell her that...
Not tried. You spoke to her.
I didn't speak to her at all.
You just paid your rent on the 13th.
Right. I tried to get a hold of Miss Klingsmith, and I have proof of that. I tried to give her a call. When she was in the parking lot of our complex, I tried to talk to her.
You paid your rent on the 13th?
Yes.
What happened in November?
November, my money was stolen out of my account in the amount of
Out of your account in November?
Yes.
And the amount that was stolen was $713?
Yes.
And?
So when I called Ms. Klingsmith to pay my rent, when I checked my card, the money was gone. So she's the only one that had my information and my card, because September I gave her my debit card to take the rent off herself. She took the rent off September herself to the ATM machine. She's the only one that had my PIN, all my social, everything. My money was gone, and I have proof of that for our department. So money was gone. So she stole my money and then tried to evict me for it.
Ridiculous. She was going to steal your money. She would have stolen $750, not $713.
Well...
I mean, if she was going to take your money without your authorization, wouldn't she have taken everything that she was entitled to?
Well, I would think, I mean, why would she want me to, I don't know, maybe she didn't want nobody to know it was her.
I don't know why. I don't know why. If that's your whole argument, that somebody, in a case of...
She didn't call me at all for my rent in November, at all. And she usually calls or knocks on the door. She didn't do none of that.
You told me that the only notice that you got from her in October was that on the 6th she served you with an eviction notice.
She showed me, and that's October. We're talking about November, right?
I understand that. What do you mean she always? You only lived there since August. August you paid the rent. September you paid the rent on time. October you did not, and you said the first you heard from her was when she served you an eviction notice on October 6th.
Okay, I knocked on my door and a few times in October.
You have no case against her. You didn't pay your rent in November. Somebody, probably in a case of identity theft, I have no idea.
Okay, Ms. Judge Judy, I have proof that I tried to pay my rent to her in November, even though my money was stolen. I have proof of that.
Just tell me when.
Okay, I tried to pay...
I asked you for a date.
Okay, November the 4th, I believe. I tried to pay...
Just a second. Make sure you're giving me the right... You just told me you didn't have any money in your account because she had stolen
just because I didn't have any money... Okay, just because I didn't have any money in my account from that card, I have money back. You can look at my back pay from Social Security, and my dad wrote the check for October. So I do have money to pay my rent. Just because my money was stolen out of my card doesn't mean I don't have any money.
I want you to show me when you tendered her the rent in November.
Okay. Can I look on my phone, please?
Absolutely.
Okay. 11/20. Well, okay. We had
just the date. I don't want to hear an excuse. I said
November 12th.
You're late. You're late.
Your Honor, we went to court. That's why I'm late. We went to court for the eviction. She evicted me on the 4th. We went to court. The judge ordered me to pay $590 for that month of November. I have that right here from the judge. He ordered me to pay $590 for November. That was from the judge. That was on like the 22nd of November. So he ordered me to pay $590 for rent, and he ordered me to pay $300 starting January for the rest of my deposit. Ms. Klingsmith was there in court when the judge ordered that, Ms. Klingsmith, 3 times, and I have proof of me texting her saying I have the rent, I have the rent. She ignored my calls.
You're talking about November 22nd? Is that the date you're talking about?
Yeah, because we got...
Is that the date that you're talking about? So just let me understand what you're saying to me. Don't talk fast.
Okay.
What you said to me was, I tried to give her her rent on November the 4th. Now you're saying to me that you tried to tender her the rent after the judge ordered you on November 22nd to give her a certain amount of money.
Again, yes.
Your case is dismissed. You have no case against her. You have no case that she stole any money out of your account, and you didn't pay your rent on time in October, and you didn't pay your rent on time in November. You have a... But for the fact that she sued you here, would you have counterclaimed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, well, you have $400 in security deposit. But she lived in the apartment in the month of November.
Yes, ma'am.
And you received no money for November.
Correct.
Okay, fine. So now you're going to tell me what the damage is.
I have a list here.
Your Honor, she did not mention any damages in court.
Don't speak.
I have utility bills that she did not put the utilities in her name.
Just a minute. That's not in this counterclaim. In this counterclaim you have, I had to extensively clean the unit and repair several holes that were in the walls. She didn't pay her rent, housing and health department. She would call my work claiming there was an emergency. She owes me for the damages, which the only thing that I have here in your countersuit are cleaning of the unit, which I will look at a bill if you have a cleaning bill.
Your Honor.
And the whole... Don't
Please.
speak. Cleaning bill and pictures of holes in the wall I will look at. Those are the only I don't care about your emotional distress. The only ones who don't speak. Those are the only things that are in your counterclaim.
This is what I filed when I filed the counterclaim.
I don't care what you filed. This is the only thing that's here. It's the only thing that's here. I'll show you. This is what you signed. You can read it.
Your Honor, please.
That's what you signed. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
We're done.
Your Honor,
Unless you have, just a second, unless you have a bill for the cleaning.
I have a bill for my maintenance gentleman.
Your Honor, please let me talk really quick.
I'm on her counterclaim. I'm not on your claim anymore. You have no claim for unlawful eviction, and you have no proof that she stole money
Your
out
Honor,
of your account.
I'm very nervous right now, like really nervous. If my daughter can tell you, I haven't told you, if you can let her tell you that I did try to pay my rent in November on time. She wouldn't answer my calls.
Listen to me.
She didn't answer. I have proof.
Listen to me.
I tried to pay before the 3rd. I tried to pay it.
Then I'm not listening to her. You show me proof that you tried to tender her payment.
She didn't answer my calls on purpose. She didn't answer my phone calls.
Your claim is dismissed. It's ridiculous. You want to show me bill from your maintenance person?
What about my couch that was left in there in the house?
You shouldn't have left it.
She locked me. She locked me out.
You shouldn't have left it.
Oh.
No. Counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
I felt sorry for her. She was living in her car with her daughter and in a motel room.
In the beginning, I should have noticed how vindictive she is.
And I rented the place to her, trying to help her out.
The racist comments that she made towards me.
And then when I didn't get the rent in October, I said,
she's on my purge list.
This is going to go downhill.
You have to watch the movie.
This is what I get for being nice and having a big heart.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Two versus Swanson. Step forward.
Aaron Two is suing his ex-girlfriend, Christina Swanson, for unpaid loans and the return of his belongings.
Mr. Two, it is your claim that the defendant, who was a short-term girlfriend of yours, owes you for a small loan of yours. One is a barbecue grill and the other is a laptop. Ms. Swanson says that there was never a loan and that the two items that you refer to were gifts from you to her. The grill you bought for $20 at some garage sale, and the laptop was a used laptop that you gave her to use, which she is still using, along with her son. That's the case. You have a counterclaim for harassment and stalking. By the way, do you have a police report for that stalking?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you're really concerned about stalking and harassment, and you know that there are two things, and you know that there are two things that he wants back, why wouldn't you give it to him?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Aaron Two says ex-girlfriend Christina Swanson owes for loans and the return of belongings. Christina is countersuing for stalking and harassment.
Okay, Mr. Two, you met Miss Swanson, according to you, on an online dating site, and that was in March of this year. When and why the first loan?
The first loan was a credit card purchase for merchandise that she resells at parties and festivals.
Oh, tell me about it. When was it?
This is 5/10/16.
So May, short while ago.
Uh-huh.
And how much was that for?
$205.63.
And what store was it from?
It's called FlashyBlinkyLights.com.
So it was bought over the internet?
No, she went in person, but...
No, she went in person?
Yes, she did.
Did you go with her?
No, I did not.
Did you give her your credit card?
Yes, I did.
Why?
I loved her, and we were in a relationship, and I cared about her well-being.
Right. Good. Next loan. Next loan.
It was not necessarily a loan to begin with.
I understand. Could we move on?
It was $300 that I gave her for savings. That,
tell me about it.
Like I said, it was $300 I gave her in cash that we were going to save to invest.
When?
May 14th. It's after I bought the property.
You gave her $300 to invest?
It was just to put it away, safekeeping, so that we would be able to invest in property that I purchased, yeah. It was just...
And then?
And
that
then,
was in May.
After she had it for about 3 weeks...
Okay, now we're into June.
Yes. We're
in June.
We were in a telephone call, and she had been working but hadn't received a paycheck.
Just on a telephone call?
Yes. And she...
Where was she living at the time?
At her current residence, and she lives behind the guy's house.
And you were living in your residence?
Yes.
So
she didn't have any groceries, and I said, well, you know, you go ahead and use the money that you have put away for us. You know, when you get paid, go ahead and put the money back.
Good. And?
I mean, that's how the conversation went, you know?
What else?
Oh, you mean the property that I want back? That's it for the loans. I mean...
Go. Keep going.
The Surface, I let her borrow when she was doing resumes and looking for work, and it's not something that I use.
When?
When did I let her borrow it? The exact date? It was probably May 10th, May 11th. It's hard for me to have those exact dates because a lot of that stuff was on the computer, which I don't have in my possession to reference.
So you're telling me that the laptop that you let her borrow was the only laptop, computer, iPad that you own? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, it's the only one I own. I use my cell phone for...
That's either a yes or a no.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
My son sent him a message explaining to him he could come and pick his items up with the monitoring of the neighbor I have across the street.
Okay, can I see?
He never came.
Can I see that?
He did not. Yes, you can.
See?
This is the text message that my son sent him.
Real cases, real people. Ex-girlfriend Christina Swanson owes for loans and the return of belongings. Christina is countersuing for stalking and harassment.
Now, do you have a computer at your home?
I have a desktop computer.
That's what I'm asking you.
Okay.
So you have a computer in your home. And you started to say that you use your iPhone for the other things that you don't have to have great memory for. I don't know.
Correct.
I don't use all those things. So in May, you let her borrow your laptop.
Yeah.
When did you purchase the laptop?
It was purchased November 27, 2013, Your Honor.
Anything else? The grill.
Yes, the grill, even though I did buy it at a yard sale for a very good price, it wasn't in very good condition, and I had to refurbish it. And I took it over to her place because I don't know if you've ever been in a fifth wheel, but...
Listen to me.
Oh, yes.
I'm not interested.
Okay.
I'm not interested. It's over.
It is.
It's over. And the only thing that I have to ask you, Ms. Swanson, is as follows. I couldn't be less interested in the purchase of $205 that you made on his credit card that he gave you.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be less interested in the $300 that he gave you to hold on to, that you said I have to use. Could I use some of that $300? And he said, sure, pay it back when you can. And I'm here in courts, any courts where I preside. But you have a counterclaim for harassment and stalking.
Yes, I do.
And two of the things that he wants, even though they're nonsense, are his grill that he paid nothing for at a yard sale and his laptop. Why don't you just give them back to him?
Well, because he gave them
No,
to
so
me.
what?
Yeah.
If you're really concerned about stalking and harassment, and you know that there are two things...
Okay.
And you know that there are two things that he wants back. Why wouldn't you give it to him?
Originally, Your Honor, I did say I would give him the things back after he did follow us. And he did...
Just a second. So why didn't you?
I gave him an opportunity. He never came.
What do you mean?
I sent him... my son sent him a message, on my phone, explaining to him that we could get together on Thursday, he could come and pick his items up with the monitoring of the neighbor I have across the street.
Okay, can I see?
He never came.
Can I see that?
He did not. Yes, you can.
I have a copy of those, Your Honor.
I'd like to take a look. While she's looking.
This is the text message that my son sent him.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Well, did you show up when you were supposed to?
When was I supposed to?
Next week we start at 6, so I'll be off at 4:30. Are you wanting to make the exchange at the sheriff's station? That works for me. If it would be easier, I can pick the things up at your place. Either way, I'm glad to settle this outside of court.
Did she respond?
Is there a response?
No, there wasn't.
Okay, your counterclaim for stalking and harassment is dismissed. I will put an order in that you and the company of a marshal may retrieve your grill and your laptop within 5 days of today. Do you understand?
I understand.
We're done.
Step out. Judge Judy continues in a moment.
I am definitely stalking her for my stuff.
He was actually trying to pay for things when I told him I didn't want him to pay for things.
I sent her a message saying, hey, we're over. Let me get my things back. You'll never have to see me again.
He bought stuff when I said I didn't want it. My son even was there numerous times when I said, I don't want these things.
And she didn't comply. She threatened me with cops and stalking, and I said, well, I'll tell you what.
I absolutely will take my time to get to know somebody for sure.
If you don't give me a date and a time right now of when you're giving me my stuff, I'm filing a small claim. But I think I'm a giving person, and some people are takers.
These items were given to me, and he doesn't deserve them back, to be honest with you.
We were fighting about nonsense, and, you know, she became standoffish. And
because he's aggressive and abusive, verbally.
I mean, there's plenty of trips that I paid for and meals and everything I paid for that, you know, she wasn't appreciative for.
And he shouldn't be in a relationship ever until he gets some help.
Get stuff in writing?
I'm just glad he's out of my life. I wanted this to be over with today. So, I'm happy.
Your daughter was dysfunctional for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Married to an admitted drug user.
Out of 2 years of marriage, we never lived together.
You never lived together?
Never.
And his life on the road.
You are a truck driver.
Yes, ma'am.
Gave her a lot of free time.
She would be at different people's houses. She would not come to my home. She would never come. She went from place to place doing drugs.
Judge Judy. You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy. Shedrick Bennett and her mother, Mary Jo Ward, for the return of his dog.
Order. All rise. This is case number 162 on the calendar in the matter of Bennett versus Ward Bennett.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Gentlemen, have a seat, please.
Mr. Bennett, this young lady is your former wife.
Yes, ma'am.
And the person with her is her mother.
Yes.
It is your claim that they have a dog that belongs to you.
Correct.
And you are suing for the return of the dog or the value of the dog.
Just a dog.
What kind of dog is it?
King Corso Pit Bull mixed.
And from whom did you purchase the dog?
I received the dog from my son, Jason.
Did you breed the dog?
Not yet, no.
Stand up.
I have not.
What do you mean you received the dog from your son, Jason?
He bought the dog from a friend of his.
And gave it to you as a gift?
No, he no longer could care for him.
When did you buy the dog from your friend? In what month and year?
It was June of 2011.
And how long did you have the dog?
About 3 months.
And then what did you do with the dog?
I gave him to my dad.
Where was he living at the time?
In Madisonville in Cincinnati.
Somewhere around September of 2011.
That's correct.
And when, Mr. Bennett, did you and Mrs. Bennett marry?
August of 2013.
Prior to marrying, did you live together?
Never. Out of 2
Prior-
years, out of 2 years of marriage, we never lived together.
You never lived together?
Never.
You are a truck driver.
Yes, ma'am.
Long-distance trucking.
Yes, over the road.
Between September of 2011 and August of 2013, when you and Miss Bennett married, who took care of the dog when you were on the road?
A lot of the times, most of the time, he was with me. I took care of him.
So is what you're telling me, when you would go cross-country,
Yes, ma'am.
the dog was with you?
Correct.
Is that what you're saying to me?
Yes, Your Honor. And I would have to say most of the time. Sometimes I left him home.
With whom?
My son, Jason.
Who else?
There were times that she kept him when she was not with me.
I'm talking about before her.
Oh, before her.
Before her. You had the dog, you had the dog for at least a year and a half.
He was with me or my sons.
So the answer is you did not take him on the road most of the time.
Most of the times when I didn't take him on the road, I left him at home with my sons.
Okay. Since when? What month and year?
October of 2015. That's when Mary Jo began to take care of him for 2 months.
Now, why would she take care of him for 2 months?
I had gotten with a new trucking company.
Just a second. When were you divorced?
In August of 2015.
So, after you were divorced,
Yes.
you asked her to take care of your dog for several months.
She asked me.
Oh, well, you just started telling me you were with a new trucking company.
She asked me if she could take care of the dog. I have it right here on
I'd
my
like
cell
to take
phone.
a look at it. Now, when you say, Mr. Bennett, you never lived together,
Yes,
even when you were married,
correct.
is that because you were traveling?
No, sometimes she would go on the road with me, sometimes just for a couple of weeks at a time. But when I come home, she would be at different people's houses. She would not come to my home. She would never come. She went from place to place doing drugs.
What is this?
That's a printout.
Of what?
Of all the text messages that I have from Mary Jo that's on my phone. And when I printed it out, it wouldn't leave her name or her number. I have all of the text messages from Mary Jo on this phone right here.
Well, this text message says, from you, you ought to just let him steer too. Think about it before you say no. We got a good place for him here. He can still be your dog. Anytime you get settled, you can come and get him. But until then, he can stay here. That's what you said.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was more to that then.
Shh. You're still working as a trucker, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, when you're on the road, Mr. Bennett, who is going to take care of this dog?
He can go with me. We have a pet policy with the company that I'm with.
Really? Just a second. You have a pet policy.
Yes.
And the company permits you on long-distance trucking to take your dog with you.
Yes.
And which of your supervisors can I call to confirm that?
Which one? I have to look in the... I'm not sure which one.
Well, who is the president of your company? What is the name of your company?
Celadon,
And where are they located?
Indianapolis.
Now, I'd like you not to waste my time, Mr. Bennett,
Yes.
because I can either continue this case in 15 minutes. The people back there will get me a phone number. The president of the company will speak to me on the phone. Am I wasting my time? Are they going to tell me that they have a policy where you, as a long-distance trucker, are allowed to take a pit bull mix in the cab of a truck with you? Are they going to tell me that they have that policy?
Probably not.
Glad you didn't waste my time.
Right. I do have a place for him.
Right now, the dog has been with them for a year.
No, they
Almost
haven't.
a year.
No, they've been there just 2 months.
You told me it was October.
October of this past month. I tried to get him in January.
Just a second. The dog's there October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. We're now in July. That's 10 months.
I tried to get him in January, and they wouldn't give him to him. I went to the police station. They went to the resident to get the dog for me. They wouldn't give it over. He told me to take it to small claims court.
Good. Now, there's no question in my mind, because your mother filed a counterclaim, which I'm going to dismiss. And her counterclaim is that this man got you hooked on drugs, and it was his fault that you were on drugs, and all nonsense. Emotional
She was
distress.
on drugs since
I'm
08.
dismissing it because it's nonsense. It's not a cause of action. All I want to know is, you were married in 2013.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, in 2013, was this dog ever at your house?
On and off the whole life.
Well, not the whole life, because they didn't marry until 2013. Were you together prior to 2013?
Yes, ma'am. And I did live at his house, which he says we never lived together. I did live there. He's saying he gave his father the dog. Really when he sometimes went on the road with him is because I was on the road with him. And when he was at the house, it's because I was there taking care of him.
You never lived there.
I have it on my ID, ma'am. When I lived at his house, I did live there, and I did take care of the dog. When we separated, I took him with me to my mother's house.
What month did you separate?
Honestly, we got back together and separated so many times, it's hard to tell you a day.
Okay. During those periods of time, together, back, forth.
And back and forth.
Back and forth and back and forth. Where was the dog?
Mostly, it's always been, that dog he's always been with Megan.
According to you, your daughter was dysfunctional for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, she was.
Since 08. Since 08.
You know I'm not liking this.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
What other dog was there?
I had another dog named Jada. I had her for 8 years, and she passed away of heartworms. And she was with me every day.
Well, then you should have taken her to a vet once to get treated for heartworm.
And later today,
she told me she had cancer and she was dying, and she was my caregiver when I came home from the hospital, so I felt sorry for her because...
Listen to me, I'm not interested in your story.
But I let her have a...
I'm not interested in your story.
May I show you the thing with the police?
I'm not interested in your story yet.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Shedrick Bennett says his ex-wife, Megan Bennett, and her mother, Mary Jo Ward, won't return his dog. The defendants are countersuing for harassment and emotional distress.
Now, according to you, your daughter was dysfunctional for at least 2 years.
Yeah.
At least the 2 years, because it's the 2 years that you're blaming it on him. So she wasn't taking care of herself, so she wasn't taking care of a dog. That's what I'm asking you. So the dog was with you.
That dog was with me, or that dog was with Megan. When the dog was with Rick, it was because Megan was with the dog, and there was another dog, too.
What other dog was there?
What was her name?
Jada.
I had another dog named Jada. I had her for 8 years, and she passed away of heartworms. And she was with me every day.
Well, then you should have taken her to a vet once to get treated for heartworm.
I did, but it was too late.
Before it was too late. You should have taken care of the dog before it was too late. Do you have any vet bills?
No, I do most of the stuff. I just got bills for like when I was dog food.
I'd like to take a look at them. What was the matter with the dog? And who took the dog to the vet?
I did.
You did?
Yes.
When did your other dog pass away?
Approximately a year ago.
And in whose custody was the dog when it passed away?
Me.
It was with you?
Yes.
Where?
In the truck. I was with a different company at the time, and we did have a pet policy.
Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah.
Okay. The incident that happened when he went to the vet, it's because I had him at my mother's house with me. I tied him to a post. He was getting a bath because he rolled in oil, and he got attacked by hornets.
She tied him up?
And me and him was together at the time. When we was together, just like he took care of me, yes, he would take care of my dog. But when we split up...
Listen to me. It wasn't your dog.
Yes.
It wasn't actually your dog. It came to him. It didn't come to you. You did not purchase it, and it was never given to you.
It was given to me.
By whom?
His son was going to get rid of him and give him to somebody else, but I had been there taking care of him along with his other dog.
Just a second. So is what you're telling me that your relationship with Mr. Bennett goes back to 2011?
This didn't happen in 2011. That dog wasn't... When
the dog's not that old.
The dog's only 3.5 years old right now.
The dog is 4.5 years old.
6/22/2011
yeah,
is the
that's
date of
not
birth.
when he got the dog.
Well, what I'm telling you, a reporting from the vet, the date of birth was 6/22/2011.
Okay, when I got with him, the dog was a baby. When I moved in with him...
Is the dog blue and white?
Yes.
6/22/11. Okay. Well, Mr. Bennett, I don't know at this point, I'm not sure what your intention is with regard to this dog.
I want it. I want to keep
I understand. I understand that you want it. I also understand that you're working and you have no place.
I do have a place.
Yeah, I know. I haven't heard about it yet. First, you told me that you could travel with the dog on the road.
He can stay with my sister. I have a sister.
Nice. Okay, right now the dog is very happy. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $500. We're done.
While he's excused, you may step out.
He's my child. It's very important.
I'm glad that we get to keep Pup.
She's a drug addict.
I was clean until I got back with him, and he knew that I was an ex-drug user.
That's untrue. She's been on drugs since 08. I didn't meet her until 12.
He used that to keep me confined.
I mean, if she can't take care of herself, how can she take care of her dog?
I got a feeling this ain't over.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Wright versus Spitzak. Step forward.
Diana Wright is suing her former friend, Carrie Spitzak, for the value of a car and a false restraining order.
How long have you and
2012 or 13, I'm not positive which year.
And why would she give you a car?
Because I had helped her out a lot. We had both helped each other out. I believe it was the end of 2012 or 13, like I said, I'm not sure. I would take her son home from work for her and different things.
Well, that's different things. Taking a son home from work and giving you a car, two different things. This is what the case is about. You say she gave you a car, and then she took it back.
Yes.
And you want the value of the car.
Yes.
She says, yes, I gave her a car. But
did.
the deal was she was supposed to maintain the insurance on the car.
Right. That's right.
And she did not maintain the insurance on the car, and she took it back.
That's
she
right.
Said
That
when
was...
she said when she took it back, it was a disaster.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, so I have just a few questions. She gave you what kind of car and when?
Mercedes ML 320, and it was on April 15th. She had been promising it to me for 3 years.
I don't care.
Your Honor,
I don't
may
care whether
say something?
No.
Oh, okay.
You may not.
Thank you.
On April 15th of this year?
Correct.
Okay. And did you ever have the car registered in your name?
I believe that's what I have, because I started the transfer and everything.
Did you ever have the car registered in your name?
Yes, it is now.
It is now?
No, it's not, Your Honor.
Judge Judy
So this is what you had. You invested no money. Somebody gave you an almost gift that fell through. Quiet. You gave away something that you no longer wanted, which means that you divested yourself with it. You no longer have it. It's gone.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diana Wright says, former friend Carrie Spitzak illegally repossessed her car. Carrie is countersuing for money owed and stolen property.
Okay. When did you have it transferred to your name and registered?
April 19th.
Of this year?
Yes.
I'd like to see that.
I believe that's the date she's looking for.
Great. Well, this was a salvaged car.
Yes. Your Honor, I have paperwork that says it was in my name from the police department.
Just a second. And you were driving the car?
No, I was not driving the car. Well, I did when I first took it away from there, from her house.
On the 15th of April?
Correct.
And on what date did you take the car back?
The 15th of April. I finally got a hold of her that night.
The same day?
Same day she brought it back.
That's not true.
Yes, it is, Your Honor.
Just a second.
Okay.
You failed to insure the car, which was part of the agreement.
That's right.
So you mean you found out on the same day that you gave it to her that she didn't have insurance?
Yes.
Explain that to me.
Okay. She told me she had insurance, and I thought, I'm going to double up on this insurance, and I'm going to go online, and I'm going to get her second insurance because I didn't want her to get in an accident and me be responsible. Could not insure her because of her credit.
Okay. Well, I don't know that.
Couldn't insure her.
Just
so I
a second.
called her.
Just a second. Do you have any proof of that?
I have just what I wrote up in the emails I gave her.
That's not proof.
Your
Just
Honor,
a second. At some point, she called you about insurance.
Yes.
I would like to see proof of insurance that you had insurance on this car on April 19th, which is the day that you told me you registered it. In order to register a car, you have to have insurance.
Right.
Show me that you had insurance on April 19th. That's easy.
Okay, I did not have insurance on the April 19th. And the agreement wasn't about insurance when I got it on the 15th.
Yes, it was.
I had told her that I could add it to my previous insurance that I already had for my car. Well, and she didn't want me to do that.
Just a second. You had a car at the time she gave you this car?
Yes.
Well, show me proof of insurance on any car.
Oh, I didn't know I needed insurance for that. Oh, wait, I've got the Geico things
Your
on my
Honor,
phone.
may I say something? When I came home from the hospital, so I felt sorry for her because...
Listen to me. I'm not interested in your story.
But I let her have the car.
I'm not interested in your story.
May I show you the thing with the police?
I'm not interested
That's
in your story yet.
Okay, thank you.
I read your answer. Your answer said, I gave her the car.
Right.
The condition was that she would have insurance.
Right.
And if You gave her the car, and the condition was insurance, then you had no right to take the car back.
But then she abandoned it, and the police called me and told me to come and get it.
I did not.
That's how I got it back.
What's $39.65?
The car that I have.
You have a car insurance policy for $39.65?
Yes.
Does anybody
I
pay
have an excellent driving
$35
record.
for insurance?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, policy ending in 1851 will cancel on June 11th unless $39.65 is paid.
Correct.
Next one, your policy, $39.65 payment for policy ending in 1851 was unsuccessful.
Okay, then I'll find the other one.
Fine. Did you invest? Shh.
Again.
Did you invest any money in this car? The
Yes.
answer is no, zero.
Yes.
Shh. You couldn't have invested any money in it, madam, because you only had it for an hour.
I did not have it for an hour. I had it for
4
a month.
days.
And, no.
From the 14th.
A little over a month.
She came back and stole it.
She
and
had
it
the
for
car
2 months.
towed away.
And then,
where I
you
had
went,
it parked.
and then you went and took it back?
She abandoned
Where is the car now?
It's gone because of her.
Just a second. Where is the car now?
It's been towed.
Okay, good. So this is what you had. You invested no money. Somebody gave you an almost gift that fell through. Quiet. You gave away something that you no longer wanted to a friend, which means that you divested yourself with it. You no longer have it. It's gone. Your claim is, and your counterclaim is dismissed. I'm not awarding either one of you $5,000 on a salvaged car. Goodbye.
I haven't been able to say anything.
Please are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I gave her the car because I felt sorry for her, so she had a car to sleep in because she was homeless.
She gave me the car, and then she turned around and filed a police report saying that I stole it.
I won't help people anymore. I'm done. I'm done.
I can't trust her.
You have a pig.
Right.
But she got out of your yard.
Your Honor, this isn't the first time the pig has been...
Wild.
The pig attacked my dog.
Hey! Hey! The dog was bitten in the leg?
She was, Your Honor.
And she'll pay when pigs fly.
I watched with my own eyes as your pig attacked her dog.
She didn't go to the vet right away. She told me that the dog was fine.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Deborah Capra is suing her neighbor, Lisa Fernald, for vet bills and punitive damages after Lisa's pot-bellied pig bit her Great Dane.
Order. All rise.
Yeah, it's case number 159 on the calendar, the matter of Capra versus Fernald.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat, please.
Ms. Capra, do you and the defendant live in a rural area?
We do, Your Honor, but she lives 2 streets behind me, and the properties are about 2 acres apart. I have a map to show.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Are either of your properties fenced?
I have an invisible fence around my property for my dogs. I also have a stone wall around my property, except for a very small opening at the very end of my property.
You have dogs?
I do.
Do you have any fencing around your
My
property?
yard is fenced in.
What kind of fencing?
I have stockade, and then I have a chain link fence.
Okay. This is the problem. You have a pig.
Right.
Pot-bellied pig. How much does it weigh?
She's approximately 200 pounds.
Not what we think of, or what a non-pot-bellied pig person thinks of as a pot-bellied pig. You usually think of them as something small.
Right.
This one wasn't supposed to be small when you got it?
Yes.
She was supposed to be small and surprised you.
Yes.
Is this the only pig that you have?
Yes, it is.
And is she inside your house?
Yes, she is.
And inside your yard?
Yes.
But she got out of your yard?
Yes.
At least once. And, according to you, came onto your property and bit one of your dogs?
Correct.
When was that?
This was February 20th. Your Honor, this isn't the first time the pig has been on the property.
I read from your complaint that it had been on the property a year before.
About 6 months prior to that, yes.
Without incident?
Without incident.
Well, first, can you explain to me, Miss Fernald, how a 200-pound pig could get off of your property if it's fenced?
We did have a tree go down. There was a snowstorm, and we had a tree go down. So
When? On what date?
I don't know the date of when
Well,
it
give me the
snowed.
month.
approximately the end of January, beginning of February.
Okay, this incident happened on February 20th.
Correct.
Tell me what happened.
2 of my dogs were out. At the time, I had a 5th one because 3 years ago I used to breed, and this...
Don't give me a whole story.
Okay.
You had 4 Great Danes.
4 Great Danes. 2 of them were outside. I saw them run to the back of the property. I ran outside to see what was going on, and I saw the pig.
On your property?
On my property. The Great Dane that's not mine, I was looking for a home for, I brought into the house first because I wasn't sure how she was going to react with the pig. Obie is a very laid-back dog. I knew she would be fine. I grabbed the other dog, brought the dog into the house. I came out, and I wanted to take a picture of the pig with the dog because the last time it was on the property, my husband says, "Are you sure a pig was on our property?" So I went to take a picture of the pig. By accident, I hit a video, and it was recording. And during that recording, the pig attacked my dog.
I assume then you have the video.
I do, Your Honor.
I'd like to take a look at it. The dog was bit in the leg?
She was, Your Honor.
You have the vet bill?
I have vet bills. I have photographs of her
I'd like
wounds.
to see it.
These are all my vet bills.
Dog okay?
She's okay now. It was touch and go for a while. She was very close to needing surgery. I show her. She needs 1 major to be a champion. She comes from a line of champions. And it came very close to her needing surgery, which would have been thousands of dollars.
Well, she didn't need surgery.
Right.
So tell me, what were the total of your vet bills?
The vet bills I had totaled up were $626. That was just for my vet. I didn't charge her for any of the bandages or anything.
I just want to know what the vet bills were. $626. Yes. Now, when this happened, Ms. Fernald, I assume that the plaintiff came and told you that your animal was on her property and had injured her dog.
No, actually, the Wareham Police Department came to my home and got me.
And said to go get your pig off her
Yep,
property?
I followed them over to her home. I went to her home. At that time, she had her dog in the house. I asked her if her dog was okay. I've never had an incident with my pig. She told me her dog was fine, and her dog was put in. She also stated that to my daughter that was there and to the dog officer,
Don't tell me what she said to anybody else. Adam, that's hearsay.
Okay.
The dog was injured that day by your pig. I just saw that.
Okay.
Okay? I just saw that.
All right. Well, I have an affidavit from my daughter, too.
I don't care about an affidavit from your daughter. I watched with my own eyes as your pig attacked her dog. I saw the pig and I saw the leg. If you look at the video, you can see that. So my question is, did there come a time when the plaintiff presented you with the vet bill?
Actually, Animal Control gave me the original first bill.
Okay, so Animal Control came by. And did you ever, by the way, receive a ticket or anything else for having your pet on someone else's property?
No.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Then is there any reason, just curious, is there any reason you have a ridiculous counterclaim for legal fees? What legal fees did you have to absorb?
I actually tried numerous times. I sent a certified letter.
For what?
To get documentation on what it is the dog was being treated for the medical bills, because she had told me that there was nothing wrong with the animal. I offered to pay the first bill. She refused to take the money from me. I apologize. And she said that she didn't want this to mean that I didn't have to pay her anything else. So I've tried to get...
You're talking about the first bill? Well, what if there were follow-ups as a result of the injury to the dog?
I asked her to forward me that information as well as the doctor's
So now
records.
you understand that you are totally responsible for the vet bills and the other expenses, including bandages and anything else that she had to...
I don't feel as though I am.
Okay. Well, if you offered to pay the first vet bill, which occurred immediately after the incident, so now we know that you do feel responsible because you do understand that your pig injured her dog. why do you feel as if you're not responsible for any subsequent vet bills a week later, 10 days later, for follow-up care, for follow-up visits? I don't understand that.
First off, she didn't go to the vet right away. She told me that the dog was fine. She went to the vet 2 days later. All I asked her was for documentation from the vet on what she's been treated. She charged me on some of the bills for like a flea and tick collar. Why would I be paying $70 for a flea and tick collar? How does that have to do with anything with the dog being injured?
Your Honor, that wasn't included in.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. Your counterclaim is ridiculous. It asks for attorney's fees, etc.
Well, I do have animal control here that did witness it, went out and witnessed
Animal control did not witness what I just did. You just witness that video? Who's the animal control officer? Are you the animal control? Did you saw?
I was not 100% sure that there was an actual bite.
You don't have to be 100% sure. You have to be here in a preponderance of the evidence. I saw the pig. The pig was on her property. It had been on her property before, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's a no-no, right? She fences in her stand up. She fences in her property because she has dogs. She has an electric fence. Her dogs have collars. What you're supposed to do, if a tree is down in January and you have a 200-pound pet on your property, you fix the fence before February 20th. Doesn't that sound logical to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. We're done here. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She stood there and videotaped it instead of removing her animal.
I actually had to call the police and call a neighbor to try to help get it off my property.
Walk the animal back?
I did try to do that. And I wasn't getting anywhere with that.
The woman set up a GoFundMe in the amount of $606.
I have no idea. I have no idea what she's talking about.
So she's scamming people.
She's just been very combative.
That's just the type of person she is.
She just felt as though she just wasn't responsible for this, and she was.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Mills versus Parker. Step forward.
Tyreen Mills is suing his former roommate, Jackie Parker, for the return of rent and property.
Mr. Mills, do you rent a townhome, an apartment?
It was an apartment.
How big was the apartment?
It was a 2-bedroom apartment.
How long had you lived there, sir?
Almost 7 months.
Did you have a roommate when you first moved in?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever have a roommate?
No, ma'am.
So Mr. Mills was your first roommate?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you move in, Mr. Mills?
I moved in. I gave him money on the 26th of June.
How much money did you
give him? I gave him $700. It was $500 for the rent, $200 for the deposit. The 26th, I gave him that.
26, you gave him money.
Nice.
You don't deny he gave you that money.
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you move in?
The 26th, I gave him the money. He gave me the keys. The 26th, later that day, the 27th, I moved my things in.
Now, the lawsuit wants the return of all the money that you gave him.
Yes.
And the value of certain property that you said Mr. Parker took from you.
Yes.
And the fact that he illegally evicted you.
Yes.
Mr. Parker said he doesn't specifically address the illegal eviction, even though he changed the locks shortly after you moved in. He said that you were kind of messy. Whatever.
I'm sorry.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You changed the locks on him, thereby constructively evicting him, even though he had paid his rent. I asked you why, and you said safety reasons.
He became pretty aggressive after.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Tyreen Mills says former roommate Jackie Parker locked him out of their apartment. He is suing for the return of rent and property. Jackie is countersuing for loss of property, threats, and assault.
Now, on what dates did you change the locks?
July 1st.
Now, the rent that he paid you, the $700, that was for July.
Correct. At the end of June, July. Yes, ma'am.
It was for July.
Yes,
he moved in on the 27th, so it was for July. Now, on what basis, sir, did you change the locks, thereby constructively evicting him from the premises?
It was because of a safety reason.
Let me hear.
As soon as he moved in, actually it was the 24th when I met with him, and then he brought the money over on the 26th, which I gave him the rent. It was getting pretty late, and I play sports on the weekend, so I told him, well, we can meet on, I bring the lease agreement.
Just give me...
Okay.
You changed the locks on him, thereby constructively evicting him, even though he had paid his rent. I asked you why.
Okay.
And you said safety reasons.
Yes, ma'am. He became pretty aggressive after the second day that he moved in, which was on a Tuesday.
How aggressive?
I was trying to get the lease agreement signed with him, and then I'm a nurse and I work pretty late, so I was there. And so he started yelling at me on Tuesday when I got home. He said, "You got me coming home early just to meet you." And I said, and I was trying to be sympathetic and apologize, and he just kept going on. It was
just a minute. You mean you told him to come home to sign the lease?
No, when he gets home from work. I didn't know he took off from work early.
We're missing a beat here, Mr. Parker.
Okay.
You wanted him to sign a lease.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you make a time with him?
No.
Did you make a time? Did he make a time with you? No, he did not. Okay, so what time did you get home?
I think I got home around 7:30 because I skipped my class. I came about 7:30, I think it was.
In the evening?
Yes, ma'am.
And this was on the 20?
Yes, that Monday.
I don't know. So you have to give me the date.
Yes.
What date?
It was the 28th. I have
28th.
I have it on the lease that we signed. It says the date that we signed it. It was
28th. Okay, so it was the day after he moved in.
Okay.
On the 28th. So go ahead.
Okay. Yes, ma'am. It was just, then he just began to be very aggressive. And then after we signed the lease, we talked about the rules of the house. I told him no smoking, no loud music. And if you have company to come over, please be at a respectable hour because I get up early in the morning.
Is all of that in the lease?
No, we actually verbally talked about that.
You
Then
can't, listen to me carefully. You can't have him sign the lease and then tell him what the rules are.
Oh, no, it was before. It was before.
Oh, that's not what... Just a second. That's...
Yeah.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You wanted him out. You said, "You're smoking in my house. It's not working out. I'm a non-smoker, and I'm going to change the locks." And he says, "I don't care what you do. Just have my money."
And these are the photographs where I woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning where he was smoking. My house was on fire.
Mr. Mills, what were you smoking?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Tyreen Mills says former roommate Jackie Parker locked him out of their apartment. He is suing for the return of rent and property. Jackie is countersuing for loss of property, threats, and assault.
Now, even if it's before, if it's not contained in the lease, it's not part of the agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
No smoking, no loud music, no cooking in the kitchen, big meals, because I see that was an issue. Anything that's not contained in the four corners of your written contract doesn't exist.
Yes, ma'am.
As far as your relationship with him goes as landlord and tenant. Now, I want you to tell me what he did that inspired you to change the locks.
Well, that following Wednesday, I was in the kitchen getting ready to clean the kitchen, wash dishes. He became very aggressive toward me, started walking toward me.
Aggressive is a conclusion.
Yes, ma'am.
You tell me exactly what he did.
He started cursing from that Tuesday when I didn't come and talk to him. And so after we had signed the lease, it seemed like everything just did a 180. And his behavior toward me and like slamming the doors. And I smelled smoke in the house. And I asked him, I said, "Are you smoking in my house?" He said, "No." And I said, "Okay." Then I told him to lock the doors. I came home 2 nights in a row. My doors was unlocked. And he was nowhere to be found, so I knocked on the door. Then when I knocked on his door, I said, "Please, Tyreen, lock my doors." And then he started yelling at me. So I turned around, I walked away. I went in my room and locked the door. And so then after that, then on Thursday, everything he just started coming at me and just like verbally attacking me. And then I had to call the police.
You have to return all of his money to Mr. Parker. $700.
Okay.
Okay, you should have returned it before. Should have returned all his money before. He was supposed to be there the month of July. You locked him out July 1st. He had locks changed back. Now you had a locks...
I'm sorry.
You had a locksmith come in and change the locks back? You never did?
No.
Okay, so when he locked you out, you stayed out?
I stayed out. I'm homeless right now.
Just a second. When he changed the locks, you did not change them back?
No.
Okay. You have any proof that he changed the locks back?
Yes, I paid for 2 locksmiths to come out. On Friday, then when I got home, I saw the locks. I have a countersuit against him. Because he broke into my home. He's took both TVs out of both rooms, my air conditioner, everything.
Just a second. I know you have a house.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me what proof do you have that he broke into your house?
I have the police report. My locks, both locks on my screen door was unlocked.
All I want to know is what proof you have that he did that.
I live alone. He's the only one in my home with keys to my home. He came in. He had my neighbor saw him when he pulled in there because she knew he was there.
No, just listen to me. Your neighbor's not here. You can't tell me what your neighbor said to you. I'll look at the police report.
Yes, ma'am. Then he took everything. I have the
He didn't take anything yet until you have a witness that says that he took anything out of your house. You changed the locks. That's all that you know. And then at some point you came home And you found your house broken into?
Yes, ma'am.
And property missing?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And I have text messages also where I asked him to bring it back, and he was telling me to keep returning his money.
Just a
and
second.
for all the damages.
Just a second.
Okay.
Okay, now I'll take a look at your text messages because this tells me nothing.
And also, I have photographs. Oh, sorry.
Give me photographs. I don't need photographs. First, I have to find culpability.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and
Mr. Parker, that Mr. Mills stole any property from you. You wanted him out. You said, you're smoking in my house. It's not working out. I'm a non-smoker. You're playing in loud noise, everything else. It's not working out, and I'm going to change the locks. And he says, I don't care what you do, just have my money, my $700 that he paid you.
And these are the photographs where I woke up at 2 a.m. in the morning where he was smoking. My house was on fire.
Can I see the photographs of the...
And this is what woke me up at 2 a.m. in the morning. And
I don't care if it was 2 a.m. That's what happens when you have a roommate. Don't have a roommate. Live alone. You've been living alone for 7 months. Stay that way. Now, Mr. Mills.
Yes.
What were you smoking?
I was not smoking in his house. When I moved into that room, he had candles burning, Glad candles, circle candles. They was on top of the wooden dresser.
You were not smoking?
No.
Okay. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $700. Your counterclaim's dismissed. We're done.
Step out. Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I moved in 28th. I gave him my money.
He became very aggressive, and he was very homophobic. And
30th, he changed the locks. He told me he put my clothes and things on the balcony.
And I just wanted him out of my house, and so it became a safety issue. He's trying to fight me, and
when I went to go receive my clothes and things, they were not there.
I just told him to leave, and then he took all my...
Is it still missing?
I dialed 911. I called the police.
I know to do a thorough background check before I just move in with somebody.
Best thing to do is to live by yourself.
Because I don't know what this guy's problem is.
Did he come to the house when you were there?
I was in Pennsylvania.
absentee homeowners try to get a handle on their handyman.
How much did you pay him altogether?
$2,300.
You may not like the $2,300 worth of work.
But what they found left them floored.
When I discovered it was not finished, and I asked Clay why it was not, and he said when I got up on the ladder, I got scared because it was too high, and I could not finish the job.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Mary and Edward Boyer are suing handyman Jameson Clay Johnston for incomplete and substandard work on their home.
Order. All rise. This is case number 170 on the calendar, the matter of Boyer versus Johnston.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Judge parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Ladies, have a seat.
Mr. and Mrs. Boyer, you hired Mr. Johnson to do some work in a house. In this lawsuit, that he did a substandard job and did some work that he shouldn't have done, which you were caused to repair at some cost to yourselves. Mr. Johnson actually has a countersuit. He said he did more work than originally contracted for, and you actually owe him money. I gather from reading the complaint, Mr. and Mrs. Boyer, that you moved from Arkansas to Pennsylvania. When was that?
We moved to Pennsylvania in April of 2015.
And when did you move back to Arkansas from Pennsylvania?
We moved approximately May 1st of 2016 back.
And your house has been for sale since what month and year?
We had it for sale by owner, which a friend of mine was doing first, and then we listed it.
Just a second. What month and year did you have it listed?
We listed it
by owner.
Oh, when we left the state of Arkansas in April of 2015.
Prior to that, had it ever been for sale?
No, ma'am.
So you subsequently, when you left, listed it with a broker?
No, ma'am. It was for sale by owner in the beginning, and then when it did not sell, we contacted Laura Dreyer here. She's our realtor, and then she listed the house approximately February of 2016.
Did it sell?
No, ma'am.
Are you currently living in it?
Yes, ma'am.
So you moved back to Arkansas?
Yes, ma'am.
And you moved the house?
Yes.
And is it your intention to remain in the house?
No, ma'am. It's still for sale.
And still hasn't sold?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, did you yourselves hire Mr. Johnson, or was that the realtor?
No, ma'am. It was me.
was you?
Yes.
When did you hire him?
I hired him, the first contact with Clay was March 9th of 2016.
Did he come to the house when you were there?
I was in Pennsylvania.
I thought you moved in April.
To Pennsylvania. We didn't come back until about May of 2016.
So what was your contact with Mr. Johnson in March?
My previous boss, Bill, owns a lot of rental houses, and he has contracted with Clay to do his work, and he's a very trusted friend of mine, and so I trusted his judgment when I asked him if Clay would do work for us. He suggested him.
Fine. So we came with a recommendation.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a written contract with him?
I had it over text, ma'am. He sent me a list of everything.
So the answer is you didn't have a written contract?
On paper, no, ma'am.
Do you have the text messages that form the basis of your oral understanding?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to take a look at them.
Okay, here's the initial list of things that he said he was going to do for us, and then the estimate down at the bottom was $1,200.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you tear off the wallpaper in the kitchen, study, and dining room?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he tear off the wallpaper in the kitchen, study, and dining room?
No, ma'am. There was no wallpaper in the dining room. We had a designer...
Just a second. This is what he says.
I know.
Tear off wallpaper in the kitchen, study, and dining room.
Yes, ma'am. If you look further down, I told him that there was no wallpaper in the dining room.
Fine, so don't take the wallpaper off the dining room, because there's no wallpaper there. Fix garage door. Did you do that?
No, ma'am, I didn't. It was on the estimate, and there was a latch broke on it, and I didn't get to it by the time they moved back.
Just a second. So did not fix the garage door. Make a drawer front for the cabinet on back of the kitchen bar. Did you do that?
No, ma'am, I removed it. Shh. Oh, sorry.
The answer is no.
No, ma'am.
And paint it. So I assume if you didn't do it, you didn't paint it. Touching up any trim downstairs, which includes putting in and painting trim. Did you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you clean up the backyard and repaint the front porch swings?
Cleaned up the backyard, the front porch swings, no, they were taken down.
No swings. Okay. Could you stand up, please?
Yes.
Tell me your last name.
Dreyer.
Miss Dreyer, you're the realtor?
Yes, ma'am.
And I assume you were showing the house, working in the house.
I did not, but fellow other agents did, and that was the problem. It was just too overwhelming for buyers with all the chaos in there and the half painting and everything going on. They said it looked like
there was chaos before, because it didn't sell before either.
Right, and I'm the one that suggested that they get it redone.
Spruced up a little bit.
Spruced up, yes, ma'am.
Spruced up a little bit. Well, did you ever go into the house to see how it was getting spruced up?
Absolutely.
In what month?
When he started on it.
What about
in May.
What about after he started on it?
Of course, yes.
Of course. What did it look like?
He just wasn't finished, you know, half painting jobs, you know. He kept saying, well, I'm finishing up today, I'm finishing up tomorrow, and I'll have it all spotless. So.
Nobody was there. How much did you pay him altogether?
$2,300, Your Honor.
And what did you do for $2,300?
$500 of that was the initial part for the materials of it, and then paying the employees that I had working for me.
Just a second. What work did you do in the house?
Sorry, ma'am. I did the...
Slowly. Tell me exactly what work you did in the house for the $2,300.
Tore off wallpaper in the kitchen and in the study.
Tore off the
Primed
wallpaper.
walls.
Yes,
ma'am. Had to resheet rock walls to do patch-up jobs on certain areas so that I could prime...
Any of those rooms?
Yes, ma'am. The dining
Painting.
room? Yes, ma'am.
Painting. So those rooms are finished. The
Yes,
dining
ma'am, and
room?
I have pictures of those.
I'd like to take a look at them. Dining room is finished, and the
Yes, ma'am.
library, did you say?
The study or bedroom?
Okay. The kitchen, what did you do to the kitchen?
Tore off wallpaper and painted the walls.
And you painted the walls?
Yes, ma'am.
Finished the kitchen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And this is a bedroom?
That is the study, yes, ma'am.
Study. And you painted this blue?
It's like a silk gray.
Well,
yes,
what is
ma'am.
this?
That is tape, taping off the trim.
Did you ever take the tape off?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And the banister and these walls?
Yes, I painted those walls as well. Yes,
these walls go upstairs. You
yes,
painted
ma'am.
them.
Painted the room upstairs as well.
So how many rooms in total did you paint? You painted all this blue.
Yes, ma'am.
Any question about that?
The only thing that I did not get to in the front part was the top edge, the very top edge, because I could not safely get up there. And by the time I acquired a ladder, they were already moved in, and it was hard to move around.
Is the paint there?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, on the one he was saying that he did not acquire a ladder, he sent me a picture of it that went 3/4 up the wall and told me it was discovered it was not finished. And I asked Clay why it was not, and he said when I got up on the ladder, I got scared because it was too high and I could not finish the job. I have
Okay,
pictures.
fine. So far, I'm seeing a whole lot of painting there. Did you buy the mulch, by the way?
She purchased the mulch through the materials, yes, ma'am.
And what did you do with it?
I mulched the front flower beds, yes, ma'am. I mowed the front yard and backyard.
Which he was not asked to do.
Oh, sure he was.
No, he wasn't.
I see the text.
Well, I mean, he said...
Just a second. I see the text.
Okay.
Sure he was. I mean, I'm looking to see whether he did $2,300 worth of work. Looks to me as if he did $2,300 worth of work. You may not like the $2,300 worth of work. You may not like the way he painted it, but he certainly was there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
May we show you things that he did that we didn't ask him to do?
I saw the texts back and forth. He discusses the stripe.
Right, we did not ask him to
He
paint
then
that.
say, don't touch it.
Okay.
And later today,
I would let him sleep on the floor in the living room along with his daughter, and his son would come over and sleep there and eat there and take showers.
Well, that sounds as if she was very nice to you.
She was very nice to me.
And why would you think she would steal your tools, which is what you're alleging?
real people, Judge Judy.
Mary and Edward Boyer claim handyman Jameson Clay Johnston owes for incomplete and substandard work on their home. Clay is countersuing for unpaid work.
Okay, how long, Miss Dreyer, was he there?
A couple of months.
So every time you went there, over that 2-month period, according to you and your other realtors went into the house, there were things going on there.
Yes, ma'am.
There were things going on there.
Your Honor, I have pictures of the foyer where he did not finish.
So, show, I'm looking. I'm looking.
May we show you things that he did that we didn't ask him to do?
Like, for example, the...
Just a second.
In our dining room.
Just a second. I saw the texts back and forth. He discusses the striping with you in the text.
Right, we did not ask him to
He
paint
then
that.
say, don't touch it.
Okay.
That's what you do. I read all the
When
texts.
he said he was going to remove the wallpaper in the text, I said, Clay, that's not wallpaper, that's paint. You don't need to remove any wallpaper, nothing like that.
I read all the texts. He did $2,300 worth of work.
But, Your Honor, we have pictures of what he said he did and how it was done incorrectly. We have pictures of paint.
Then don't hire him again. You're not getting any money back from him. He did the work. He painted it. You were absent, looked at the job that he was doing and said to you, you know what? He's doing a terrible job. And you told him to stop. We have a different story. But it sounds to me from your realtor that this young man was there with other people and tried to be most accommodating to you. He mulched your front yard. I know what I paid to have somebody and I bought the mulch, just mulched front and backyard.
He also had a friend of mine helping him do that.
Your case is dismissed. You have no case. We're done. Your counterclaim is ridiculous, sir, and I'm dismissing it. You do understand.
Thank you,
For more
yes,
money.
ma'am.
That's not happening.
While you're excused, you may step out.
There is paint all over my ceilings.
I'm happy with it.
Paint all over the woodwork.
These are the very first people to ever complain about my work.
Everything Clay did has to be redone.
The woman's just unreasonable.
Make sure you know your contractor, who you're dealing with.
Probably get recommendations on the people you're going to do work for.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Montawine versus Flores. Step forward.
Edward Montawine is suing his former friend, Patricia Flores, for stealing his work tools and loss of income.
Mr. Montawine, when did you go to live in the defendant's house? That was in April of this year?
Yes.
Were you homeless at the time?
Yes.
And you knew her from the mobile park home where she lived?
Yes.
She said you could come and live and work for her.
Yes.
In the mobile home?
Yes.
She also has a shed, and you moved some things into her shed.
Correct.
She didn't charge you any rent.
No.
She let you move in April. Where did you sleep?
I slept on the front room floor.
When exactly did you move in April?
I had moved in between the 1st and the 3rd.
Immediately prior to that, where was your last home?
My last home would be at Space in that mobile home park.
What happened to that home?
I finished with it.
What do you mean you finished with it?
I lived in a mobile home. I finished it, moved on to the next one, finished it, moved on to the next one.
So what you do is you go in and do work in the house?
Yeah, the houses are empty when I move in.
Who pays you to do the work?
My boss.
But you and the boss had a falling out?
Yes.
What was that about?
Money.
That he said you took from him or that he owed you?
No, he owed me.
Did he ever give you the money?
No.
Then the first line of your complaint would be incorrect, because the first line of your complaint says, in April of this year, I was sent to Patricia's home by my former employer to do some work.
That's how I met Patricia.
In April, you were sent by this boss that you had a fight with, who fired you, to her house?
I must have the dates mixed up. Sorry about that.
That's what it says.
When I met Patricia, came over to fix either was her concern at the time, and I'd go over there and that's what I did. I fixed it and I left. Okay, and she had a few
Then
concerns.
you had a fight with your boss?
Yes.
So after you had done some initial work for her,
Yes, ma'am.
time passed,
Yes.
and then you went back. Is that correct? Did he do some initial work for you at some point prior to April of this year?
Yes.
What kind of work did he do?
He came and looked at my swamp cooler, but it never got fixed. He did fix a belt on it, but he didn't fix the motor and the pads. The back door he didn't finish fixing. He didn't finish fixing the plumbing under the sink in the bathroom. He duct taped it.
When was this? In what month?
I moved there February 14th of this year. So since February 14th till the end of April, when he came into my home, there was odds and ends of things that had to be fixed.
So he was in and out of your home. Why don't you tell me why you let him move in and sleep on the floor in your home?
Because at the time he was sleeping in a shed by his daughter's house, and it was like just enough room for a blanket and a pillow. And so I said he can store his stuff. Wasn't using my storage, and I have a fenced-in yard, a small gate. And so I let him use that to keep his stuff in there or whatever. He did sleep in there because when I wasn't home, I don't let anybody in my house, but I found later they were. But I would let him sleep on the floor in the living room there and eat there and take showers.
Well, that sounds as if she was very nice to you.
She was very nice to me.
Then why would you think she would steal your tools, which is what you're alleging?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
If you got home, your father must have said to you, these aren't all my tools.
I had called him.
Called him on your what?
On my cell phone.
What kind of cell phone do you have? Get that. And did you take a picture of the tools?
No.
You have anything else?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Edward Montewine says former friend Patricia Flores stole his work tools, causing him to lose work.
Okay, just asking you a question, sir. It sounds as if she was very nice to you.
Yes, she was.
Let you sleep in her house?
Mm-hmm.
Your daughter, son sleep in the house? And it doesn't look to me like this is a lady who uses tools herself. Why would you think she would steal your tools?
Because she told me that I have your tools, but I'm not going to, you can't have them back until it's clean.
Just a second. She said to you what and when?
She said, your tools are safe, there's nothing missing.
Your tools are safe. And when did she say that to you?
That would be about the 15th or 16th of last month, I believe.
Because you must have had a falling out. Do you remember that conversation?
We didn't have a falling out. He left the house and never came and told me he was leaving or anything. His daughter came and took the stuff, all his property off of there.
Which daughter?
I have not talked to him. He's not been around.
Which daughter?
Audrey, the one that's got her hand raised.
That one?
Yes.
So you never had a conversation with him?
No.
Saying to him, I have your tools, they're
he
safe?
sent Billy in the house.
Who's Billy?
His ex-boss.
Are you back working for him?
No. I have a legally blind daughter that I go over there and I'll fix her whatever she needs fixed periodically. Her next door neighbor needed a carburetor done, and I needed some specialty tools for it, so I sent my daughter Audrey over there to get them. And when she went over there, all my stuff was scattered out of her shed, scattered around her yard. All my possessions I had in there, except for my tools. And I had my daughter Audrey.
What tools are we talking about?
All my tools I've acquired over 15 years, Your Honor.
I'm asking you what specific tools.
Makita impact drill, Makita skill saw, all my tools, ratchets, toolbox.
You know where any of his tools are?
They're in a big blue trash can. Audrey came over with a hand truck, a dolly, a white one, and put that on there and walked it up the street to the other park. She got everything out there.
Other than what his daughter took.
I have no, I don't. No.
So the answer is?
No.
You don't?
Nope.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, you can stand up. On what date did you go over to the shed?
The 29th.
Of what month?
It was May 29th. I went over there to get my dad's tools because he needed certain tools to work on the car.
And what did you go over there with?
I went over there with a dolly.
And did you put the tools in the dolly?
Whatever tools that were left there, which was tools that basically...
Did you take photographs of the tools that you took?
No.
If you got home, your father must have said to you, these aren't all my tools.
I had called him, and I told him, I said...
Called him on your what?
On my cell phone.
What kind of cell phone do you have? With that. And did you take a picture of the tools?
No.
You have anything else? You have anything else?
No, ma'am.
Let me tell you something. I don't understand why somebody who was nothing but nice to you for no reason, nice to you, according to her, and nice to you.
She offered me, and I refused it.
Goodbye. I'm finished.
I said
with
you're
you.
watching
I'm finished.
TV.
I'm finished
Can
with
he
all of
give
you.
him his
We're
tools?
done. Give him whatever you have. Bird will give it to him. Officer Bird, will you transfer over to him everything that you have? Very good. We're done.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I refused her half of the bed.
He's homeless. He needs money from somewhere.
When I left for a couple of days because I was uncomfortable, she took all the tools I've accumulated over 15 years, got rid of them.
I gave him back his tools that he left at the house.
We're all flawed in some way or another.
I like the guy. No bad ill feelings against him or his family.
You had some sort of an altercation with his little brother.
Yes.
Violence in a Chicago neighborhood.
When a brother comes down, we get to arguing. He swung, missed, I swung, connected, we fight.
Mr. King was very angry that his brother ended up in the hospital.
And Big Brother cuts to the chase.
When you went down there to talk to him, did you have a knife?
Him and his family had knives too, so...
You're not supposed to go to his house with a knife.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Jermaine Minter for threatening him with a knife.
Order. All rise.
It's case number 141 on the calendar in the matter of Minter versus King.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Folks, have a seat.
Mr. King, is this your younger brother?
No, this is actually my friend.
Your younger brother isn't here.
No, ma'am, he's still on house arrest.
House arrest for what?
I think it was a gang laundering or something. I don't know the exact case.
How long has he been on house arrest?
For approximately like 2 to 3 months now.
Was he incarcerated for any period of time?
Yeah, for about like a week or two. That's about it.
How old is he?
He's 18.
Now, there came a time when you had some sort of an altercation with his little brother.
Yes.
Tell me about the altercation, if you want to.
So the particular problem with me and him actually had a fight came March 17th, 2016. I was on my way to get my driver's license. In order to get to, I stay 63rd, my auntie stays 64th, so I have to walk past their house to get to my auntie house. I was on my way to get the money because she's the one paying it for me. That's when the brother comes down, we get to arguing.
You mean his brother came down?
I'm gonna call him heavy because
what was the argument about?
Because the night before, then I entered their house without knocking. And it just got on some, you supposed to knock. Well, if I'm coming here for the purse, told me to come in, not me.
You went in there.
And just opened the door.
And you opened the door. So the younger brother said...
You need to knock. But he didn't say it that night.
I got it. Did you get into a physical altercation with him?
The next morning. Not that night. That night it was just, okay, you're a police. He called me a police. Okay, whatever you want to say. I left because I was at their house. I left, went home. The next morning, as I said, I was going to get my
driver's
license. Walking past my auntie house to get the money for it. The brother run off the porch. Something saying, so was all that stuff about yesterday. Come on, man, ain't nobody on that with you. That's just how we talk. He swung, missed, I swung, connected, we fighting. I leave to go get my driver's license, he leaves to go to the hospital.
So you won the fight?
I'm guessing.
Okay. And then it is your claim, I don't actually think that Mr. King disputes the fact that Mr. King was very angry that his brother ended up in the hospital, and at some point he came to your house.
Yes.
When did you go to his house? What date? That date? March?
Actually, March 17th. If I can show you this, it basically stayed from the day that they got into it until now.
Something that you wrote out?
No, this is actually text messages of him texting me.
Fine. I want to know when you went to his house.
March 19th, to be exact.
What time?
I get off work at
the afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
And who did you go over there with?
My friend.
How many others other than that one friend? How many others?
No, it was just us. Now, my father was there, but he
Just a second. So you, your friend, and your father?
Yes, but my father, you know what I'm saying, he had a bad crash, so he was basically just telling me to come over there and find out what's happening.
Just a second.
Okay.
All I asked you was, how many people went to his house? So it was you, your friend, and your father.
Okay, yeah, that went to his house is just me and my friend.
Where was your father?
My father was, at the porch, you know what I'm saying, basically telling us, to just leave it alone.
Why didn't you listen to him?
Because I didn't go down there to fight. I went down there to talk to him as a man.
When you went down there to talk to him, did you have a knife? When you went down there to talk to him, did you have a knife?
Not the first time.
So you went down to talk to him twice?
Yes, the first time I went to talk to him as a man, but I was, being aggressive, with these text messages.
Just a second. So when you went back the second time, was that also on March 19th?
Yes.
Then you did have a knife. And who went back with you the second time?
I went back down by myself.
You were there by yourself? With a knife. So you left your friend and you substituted a knife for your friend. Now tell me what happened when you got there the second time.
I was, people, they was reaching and stuff like that. And then, him and his family had knives, too. So I went about it the wrong way. But I did go back down there because I wanted to get to the bottom of it, why this continuing problem with my baby brother at that.
Why was your baby brother in jail?
Whatever he does in the streets. Like I said, I don't know exactly.
Had nothing to do with him.
Right.
So, wouldn't that say something to you?
It ain't got nothing to do with him biting my brother in the eye.
What?
It don't have nothing to do with whatever my brother does in the street. It doesn't have nothing to do with him biting my brother in the eye.
Unless your brother started a fight with him.
Okay, my brother didn't start a fight with him.
How do you know that? You weren't there.
But I got uncles that tell me that what happened, too. My papa out there, too. He's 74 years old. You know what I'm saying?
So he's young.
No. The whole thing is, Your Honor...
Did he just say no? Listen, you had no reason to go to his house with a knife.
He had no reason to open my parents' door without their permission.
Mr. King, there may be things that I don't understand. There are a lot of clearly civilized things that you don't understand. Because somebody walks into somebody who is basically, your friends, you have a lot of people living in your house. He didn't go there to burglarize your house. He went there to see somebody in your house. And because you cop an attitude, because he didn't knock appropriately, doesn't mean that you go to his house with a knife.
I didn't go to his house because of knife, because of that.
What did you go to his house with a knife for?
The reason I went to his house with a knife is because when I went down there to talk to him as a man, you know what I'm saying, he got defensive with me after these text messages, which is before I even came down there. The whole point of me coming down there was because he bit my brother almost half his eye off. I went down there to talk to him about it, what's going on? Because like he said, he had an altercation with my baby brother again, you know what I'm saying? Then it went to my baby brother to my little brother, you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to know what was going on. When I went down there, he was telling me what he was going to do to me, like he was doing in the text, you know what I'm saying?
Now I'm going to take a look at the texts.
I got the top part for the beginning of it on my phone. And that was leading up to the...
Shh. Sorry. This is not in my mental wheelhouse, these emails. You're not supposed to go to his house with a knife.
He wasn't supposed to chase me down with a knife.
Listen to me. Don't answer that. That's a statement. It's not a question. It doesn't require an answer. You're not supposed to go to his house with a knife. You want to go to his house with a knife after nasty texts back and forth is not a civilized resolution to a problem. Now, he came to your house with a knife, but he didn't assault you. Is that correct?
Physically, no.
Okay. Now, the other part of your complaint is that he should be punished punitively because your daughter was present.
Yes.
How old is your daughter?
My daughter, 8. That's the first person they approached. They didn't approach me. They approached my daughter coming out of school. 6 guys coming up to my daughter. She's running down crying to my baby's mother. I'm in the house asleep. They actually come wakes me up. She's dramatic. My baby just, ugh. They say they finna jump you, Daddy. Who is they? Let me go out here and see. Open the door. Who do I see? Trayvon, the young gentleman right there. His father. His father got somebody. 3 more people. It's 7 people.
Okay. How far away from
I stayed. I'm sorry.
From where you were is your daughter's school?
Directly right across the street. But she's more on the corner of 64th, where they let her out at, and I'm more on the corner of 63rd.
How old is she?
She'd be 9 July 31st.
Stand up. Tell me your last name.
Davis.
Mr. Davis, were you there on this date in March with Mr. King?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when for the first time did you see Mr. Minter's daughter?
His stepmom's house.
Inside. You didn't see her outside?
I never knew that was his daughter. No, I did not.
And who else was there the first time that you went to the house?
His 2 little brothers, a female, his cousin, and his daddy.
And did you go back the second time?
No, I ain't go back the second time. I ain't walked back down the street the second time.
But at no time did you go to the school?
No, we never went to the school.
Did you ever go to the school?
No, ma'am.
All very, very upsetting. But not a lawsuit, actually. Not a lawsuit. What?
Can I say something? And the reason why his daughter was at my house, because I have 2 little cousins that she plays with, so that's the reason why she was there, you know what I'm saying? And I wouldn't harm no little lady.
Listen, I assume you were not arrested for assaulting his little brother. Is that correct?
No.
Did your little brother press charges against him?
No.
Is there a reason for that?
Because his little brother was wrong. I mean, his little brother still talk right now.
You do?
It's Trayvon is the problem. And no, they did not go to my daughter's school. My daughter have to walk past their house, and that's when they approached them. And when I tell you 7 people, the 7 people that it was included don't even include his 2 little brothers that was there.
Mr. King, listen to me. Do you have children?
Yes.
How many children do you have?
I got a little girl and I got a boy, a baby boy on the way.
I want to...
Shh. Listen to me.
Okay.
What you have.
Yeah.
Is that right? I assume that that's what you all want for your children, something better than what you have. Then you have to start behaving in a more appropriate way. Do you understand?
Yes.
It's uncivilized to go to someone else's home with the intention of fighting them.
I wasn't
or,
intending
listen
to fight
to me,
them.
or scaring them with a knife. Uncivilized. To leave an area where you went to talk, and then you had a whole bunch of nasty texts back and forth, and then go home and arm yourself with a knife and go back. There are only 2 reasons for that, because...
I didn't go home and arm myself. The March 17th, all that was the same day. The same morning that he bit my little brother in the eye, all them text messages was from that day.
You told me it was on the 19th. Listen to me. You told me the 19th.
Right, the 17th, that's when he texted all that. I was going to go over there that same day, but he was telling me how he got his...
I don't care.
But I just don't want you to try to make it seem like I'm in the wrong or like I...
You
know
are.
what I'm saying?
But just a second. You are in the wrong. You told me a story that you were so angry because he almost bit your little brother's eye off that you wanted to talk to him and figure out what's all this about.
You ain't hit me out before I told you I went over there to talk, but you ain't hit me out for what happened. You know what I'm saying? I went over there to talk. Him and his baby mama, they got offensive, and they got to pulling out butcher knives. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, then a smart person would not go back with a knife.
Are you right?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And later today...
He filed a restraining order against my daughter and would not let her come on the property, and they forged the lease. You can see where the lease has been whited out with their names.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Jermaine Minter says Trayvon King showed up at his home and threatened him with a knife.
Yeah, a smart person would not go back with a knife. If they copped an attitude because you were over there and you were trying to figure out what had happened with your brother so that he almost lost an eye and what was very calm, but they had butcher knives, a smart person would not go home and arm themselves with a butcher knife and then go back. Smart person wouldn't do that. Who has a child and one on the way wouldn't do that. I'm done with this case. It's no lawsuit here. Goodbye.
Oh, you gotta excuse me. Step out.
You shouldn't be 33 years old trying to fight an 18-year-old, you know what I'm saying?
If an 18-year-old hits you, you're gonna let
him walk in nobody's crib if you mess with that person or not. Always knocking somebody's door, that's it.
The perfect solution would have been me getting paid for my screen door, then I would have let it die. But
it's about respect, right? Because I wouldn't, me knowing my little brothers wouldn't walk in his crib and just open the door.
Now I don't know what I'm gonna do now. Y'all might be seeing me back in court or somewhere in jail or something.
You know what I'm saying? It's all about respect, that's it.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Chapman versus Reset Covarrubias. Step forward.
Diane Chapman and her daughters, Sarah and Brandy, are suing their former landlord, David Reset, and his wife, Eleanor Covarrubias, for meter fraud, a false restraining order, and harassment.
I'm going to make this case very simple, although you folks have tried to make it far more complicated. You rented a property from the defendant.
Yes.
And you rented that property for how long?
The lease was 1 year.
And did you stay for the full year?
Yes, I did.
All right, and now that the year is up, you're complaining that while you were living there, the electricity bill that you were paying covered more than just your property. It covered property that was used in part by the defendant as a workshop and another rental property.
There was a trailer there.
A trailer. So there's only 1 meter, and you were getting the bill for that meter.
Yes, I was.
That there was only 1 meter. What he says is that that was explained to you, and the rent was reduced by $50 in consideration of that use by him in his shed and by the other people in the trailer of any electricity. Is that your defense, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, do you have a written lease?
Yes, we do.
Well, I'd like to take a look at it because that'll make it very, very simple, because that piece would have to be in the written lease, that $50 is being deducted because the 1 meter covers more than just the plaintiff's property.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
There was a door in the washroom that belonged to a customer of mine.
A door?
Yes.
How do you know that they took that door?
After they have left, I was checking my cameras, and on the camera was a photo of the daughter's boyfriend carrying a door.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Diane Chapman says her former landlord, David Reset, owes for meter fraud, a false restraining order, and harassment. David is countersuing for property damage, stolen property, and harassment.
Now, do you want to point it out to me where? I don't see it anywhere here.
This was after the lease, after she signed the lease. There was another agreement.
Oh, then I'll take a look at that if it was written.
You're kidding me.
There's never another agreement after.
No, it was a verbal agreement.
You can't tell me what it was, sir. And it can't be a verbal agreement modifying the terms of the lease.
I believe it's in the other paperwork that I did not bring with me, Your Honor.
Okay, fine. Now, if what you say is that you were giving them a credit of $50 a month on the electricity and they were there for 1 year, that means you owe them $600 for electricity. Now, I'm not entertaining anything else about your alleged harassment by him of dumping cat's food over or your dog's food over. It's nonsense. If you don't like a place, you move out. You're entitled to $600, and $600 is for the electricity. Unless you can prove to me, and I don't see how you can, that the amount owed for electricity is more than $600. Do you have any proof that the electricity is...
I have a bill, the bill, but the case is mainly because he filed a restraining order against my daughter and would not let her come on the property from the very beginning day, and they forged the lease and took my daughter's name off the lease after we signed it. You can see where the lease has been whited out with their names.
Listen to me. Then don't all kinds of complaints
Your Honor?
about harassment or anything else. Now, what I want to know from you is, your main complaint in your answer was not about the plaintiff, but about her daughter and her daughter's conduct and the boyfriend's conduct around the house. That was your main complaint.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not entertaining your counterclaim with regard to harassment either. They're gone from the property. But what I do want to know is, what property do you allege that they took from the house that didn't belong to them?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Now, what property do you allege that they took from the house that didn't belong to them?
Well, Your Honor, there was a door in the washroom that belonged to a customer of mine.
A door?
Yes.
What kind
a
of
pre-hung door for an interior door.
And it belonged to somebody else?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a handyman by trade, and I keep materials on the property for jobs that I'm getting ready to do.
Oh, so there was a door that
Yes,
was
ma'am.
not hanging up. It was just there.
Correct.
And how do you know that they took that door?
After they have left and gone, I was checking my cameras. That would be October 4th, 2014. It was a photo of the daughter's boyfriend carrying a door.
And you saw this in October of 2014?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not interested in it. We're now in 2016. The reason she says she didn't file anything with regard to the meter was because she said she had to wait in order to get something from the local government before she could file with regard to the meter. That's an excuse for not filing in 2 years. So, judgment for the plaintiff for the amount of $600. Are we finished? Good. Thank you.
Parties are excused and they step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He was a bully, and he's getting by with it.
It was a good tentative beginning.
He called the police on us. He would not let my daughter come on the property.
Then the daughter started bringing her boyfriend and her friends over, and these people I know.
What does my boyfriend have to do with our lease?
For a fact, are drug addicts.
It's not true.
I'm not renting again.
I would guess it was just a wrong fit.
I'll burn the place down before I rent it again.
While you were a squatter and not paying rent, she was your roommate.
Complaints from a freeloading renter.
What month's rent do you claim she didn't pay?
July and August.
Well, you locked her out in July.
Right.
And the next month wasn't much better.
She called the police stating property.
After she came back in, did you call the police again?
Yes.
I wouldn't stay there.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Heidi Gennaro is suing her former roommate, Stephanie Hernandez, for rent, late fees, attorney fees, and the cost to change their locks.
Order. All rise. It's case number 187 on the calendar in the matter of Gennaro versus Hernandez.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Judge. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Ms. Gennaro, you were renting a house or condo.
A condominium.
Were you renting it from the owner?
Yes.
Were you renting it from the owner?
Yes.
What's the owner's name?
Hood.
When did you start renting the condo?
On December 22nd of 2015.
And what was your rent?
$1,650.
Sign a lease?
That's right.
For how long?
For a year.
When did you move out?
I moved out August 27th.
So well before your lease was up.
Well, 2016.
So you overstayed your lease?
That's correct.
Did you sign a new lease?
No.
Well, you have
no
3-day notice to quit.
Yes, that was it.
On what date?
I believe it was June 20th.
When was the last month that you can prove to me that you paid rent on this condo?
It was August 5th, 2016.
And how much did you pay?
$1,650.
And how much did you pay in July?
$1,650.
And in June, how much rent did you pay?
I paid the same amount, $1,650.
Then you want to explain to me why you were served with a 3-day notice to quit.
Because in June, my father passed away, and I became a little behind because I was sending some money over to my country.
How much a little behind?
About $1,000 short.
But then you paid, according to you, after June, you paid all your rent.
That's correct. I sent her an email, and I explained to her my situation, and I let her know that I was going to pay her rent a little late, and she was okay with that.
Now, you can't tell me what she was okay with, or even that you sent her an email. And she clearly wasn't okay with it because you were served with a 3-day notice to quit. And you did, in fact, leave. You were served with the notice to quit in August?
They were going to sell the property.
You know, we're going to get to the truth here. You understand that? You've been doing what you do a long time. I've been doing what I do longer. So you found out that they were going to sell the property. You had some family problems. You stopped paying rent or were shorting on rent. They were going to sell the property anyway. So at some point, you became a squatter.
I guess so.
I guess so. Now, while you were a squatter and not paying rent, she was your roommate.
Correct.
And your rent was $600 a month.
Correct.
You moved in with Miss Gennaro when?
December 30th, 2015.
So you moved in with her at the same time that she rented the place?
I moved in on December 30th, 2015. I don't know when she first made.
Well, she said she moves in on December 22nd, 2015.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's 2014. December 20th, 2014. I'm sorry.
So you moved in a year later because you got the date wrong. And you were paying $600 a month. Your lawsuit says she didn't pay rent for a couple of months. She owes you money for rent. She owes you late fees. She owes you attorney's fees, and you changed the locks on her. Now, let me ask you this. When you moved out, after you got the 3-day notice to quit, and you stayed a little while longer because the marshals were going to eventually come and landlord rent, you owe the landlord rent.
No.
You were all caught up? Give me the landlord's number. Landlord was your landlord for 2 years. You're going to waste my time? I'm going to go there and find out.
Do you have my receipts?
Listen to me carefully. I'm going to call your landlord and find out when you moved if you were up to date on your rent. Now, you rented from this person for a couple of years, so you clearly have her number because you emailed her, you told me, and she wrote you back and said everything was okay. Is this going to be a waste of my time? I don't like to waste my time. Were you totally current with your rent when you moved out?
I was a week behind. I actually asked her.
Just a second. So what you're telling me is you were 1 week behind the $1,650 rent, and that's all you were when you moved out. Give me the date that you moved out.
Could I explain?
All I want to know is if I call the landlord, which is going to mean my having to get up from this chair, and I'm not a spring chicken, and go out that door and get on a phone. And I will get to your landlord, and I'm going to say, when Miss Gennaro moved out, did she owe you any rent? That's what I'm going to ask her. And is she going to say to me, well, she owed me a week? Is that what she's going to tell me? Or is she going to tell me that you owed her for several months or dollars, or you stopped paying your rent in June when your father got sick?
When my dad passed away, I got the notification. And then about a week later, which was June 28, I gave her $1,650 for the month of June.
You moved out in August.
Right, so then August came around.
You know, first comes July.
Okay, so July, so that's correct. So July came, and then I paid my rent. I asked Ms. Hernandez to pay me her rent by text, and she refused to do that.
All I want to know is when you, don't tell me anything about her.
Okay.
She doesn't have a lease with the landlord.
Correct.
You have a lease with the landlord. Am I going to get an answer to my question? At the time that you moved out in August, did you owe any rent?
I did for 1 week.
So you got 2 notices. One that says you were late for your rent in June, and it was a 3-day notice to quit. And then subsequently you got a notice that said that they were selling the premises.
That's correct.
And that was in the same month. Well, it was actually posted the beginning of July.
That's right.
So what you're telling me is you paid rent for July and August. After you got these things, you paid your rent. Mm-hmm. And you lived there until when?
Until July 16th. That's when she locked. August 2nd.
When did you move out?
I moved out August 20th.
Now, in the interim, because there was some sort of a kerfuffle between the two of you, you got a protective order against her, or she got one against you?
She got one against me.
Okay. But you still both live together?
Yes.
Except for the period of time that she was out because you would change the locks.
She changed her lock first.
And then you changed the lock back.
That's right.
Okay. And the judge told you that she could be there.
That's right.
So that she came back. What month's rent do you claim she didn't pay?
July and August.
Well, you locked her out in July, right?
Right.
So you don't get paid for July. And you moved back in August 2nd.
Yes.
Why didn't you pay rent for the month of August?
Because when I went to the house on August 5th, she called the police stating that I had broken into the house and stole some of her property. And then I, at that point, said, I'm not going to live here because she told the officers if something happened to her, they would be responsible for it.
I thought you moved out at the end of August.
Correct. I was not living at the house on August after that. It was just more.
After what date?
After August 2nd, I just went in there, grabbed some belongings, and went to my parents' house.
Okay, so you physically didn't live there?
Correct.
When you moved back in August, pursuant to the judge's direction that you could move back in, then she called the police again, and you left your property there, which ordinarily would mean that you're there. Is it true that while her property remained on the premises, she was not there after the beginning of August?
She was there.
When?
After August 2nd. The judge granted her with her restraining order.
No, I understand that you could be there.
And I could only be 3 yards away from her, assuming that...
I understand that the judge made that order. She says that she moved into her parents' home because after she moved back, because I assume your hearing was the beginning of August or the end of July, correct?
That's right.
And the judge said she can come back in, so she came back in. After she came back in, did you call the police again?
I called...
That's a yes or a no?
Yes.
How many days after she moved back in?
The next day.
Great. And is what you're telling me, she remained after you called the police in August? She remained?
Yes.
Personally, physically, she slept in the house?
She was there off and on. I don't know. I was never there.
Oh.
So she was there. There was times that she was there and sometimes she was not there. I don't know.
Okay.
She was there sometimes, yes.
Right. Well, I would like to know what you think that she owes you. You locked her out where you called the police the day after she came in. I wouldn't stay there.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
She put locks in her door.
She can put locks
it's
on
not
her
my
bedroom
property.
door? She put locks on the outer door, her bedroom door?
And her bedroom door.
She could put a lock on her bedroom door.
And that's because she broke it.
Shut! I don't want to hear. Don't speak unless you seem to be losing.
And later today,
I would like to know what your defense is. Your dog was off leash in an area where your dog was supposed to be leashed.
Yes, because the gate was broken, so...
I don't care whether the gate was broken or it was being sent off to Pluto.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Heidi Gennaro says her former roommate, Stephanie Hernandez, owes for rent, late fees, attorney fees, and new locks. Stephanie is countersuing for an illegal lockout and harassment.
Go ahead.
She was there off and on throughout August and July. Even after and before I locked her in, she was coming in there with the police.
You're not entitled to any rent. I don't know if you're entitled to anything because it seems almost unfathomable to me that after you found out that they were selling the premises and they posted this 3-day notice to quit, you could only owe a week's rent. So what else do you think she owes you? Attorney's fees for what?
Because I needed to get some legal advice. I was not sure what I needed to do.
What you needed to do is not lock out your tenant.
Could I explain that?
No, you can't lock out your tenant. Just like your landlord can't lock you out.
She put locks in her door.
She can put locks on her bedroom door. It's not my property. She put locks on the outer door, her bedroom door.
And her bedroom door.
She could put a lock on her bedroom door.
And that's because she broke it.
Shut! I don't want to hear. Don't speak unless you seem to be losing. Okay, I've taken care of that. Money owed for expenses due to an illegal lockout and harassment.
Correct.
Where are you living now?
I am currently sleeping on the floor at my parents' house.
So you're living with your parents?
Correct.
How old are you?
I am 22.
Okay, so you're living with your parents?
Yes.
Great. She doesn't have to pay you any rent because you locked her out in July. She moved out in August after you called the police again. Your counterclaim for harassment is dismissed. We're done.
But I was locked out and she harassed me.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
According to her, she felt that she was going to get killed by me.
To kill me and get me out of there one way or another, she broke into my room with a weapon.
What I learned is that I think from now on, I guess it's best just not to have a roommate.
I'll live alone without anyone harassing me or banging on my door.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of furnace versus
is suing neighbor, 21-year-old Vianney Bolanos, for vet bills after her husky attacked his Papillon.
Mr. Furness, it is your claim that the defendant's dog attacked yours.
Yes.
And her dog was in an area where she should have had a leash?
No. She was outside of the gated area with her dogs were out of... She was by the entry of the area where I was going when I walked up, but her dogs were off leash running around in the park.
Is it an area in the park where her dog was allowed to be off leash? What kind of dog do you have?
A husky and a chihuahua.
Do you have photographs of the area?
Yes, I do.
I'd like to take a look at the area that you're referring to. And I assume it wasn't the chihuahua that you claim attacked your dog?
No. The grassy area is the park area, and the dirt area would be the area where the dogs would be.
The dirt area is the dog park.
Yes. As you walk around on the pictures, you'll see that's the gate that's going to be separates the park and the dog
And the
area.
dog park.
Correct.
Where were you?
I walked up to that gate, and she was at that gate, but her dogs were not with her. They were running around in the park over off to the side, and I was carrying one of my dogs, and I had him on a leash, so she had looked at me at that point.
Okay, so your dog, the one that's here, this,
Yes.
and you were holding the other.
Yes.
And walking into the gate.
Correct.
And her dogs were outside of the gate.
Correct.
You assume she was going to walk into the gate and call her dogs.
Yes.
I assume. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So your defense is not, I assume, because if they were outside the fenced area, they were not permitted to be off leash. What I read in your answer is there was no attack.
I wouldn't say that, but
Well, that's what you said in your answer. There was never an attack.
Well, he was going to kick my dog, so I pulled her. So my dog reacted, and my dog did bite his dog, but to say that she mauled his dog or shook it and, like, threw it on the floor, that did not even happen.
Is what you're...
He wrote that in his statement, and I read it, so...
I want to know what you... Just a minute. He's going to show me pictures, I assume, of the injuries to his dog and show me the vet bills. I would like to know what your defense is. Your dog was off-leash in an area where your dog was supposed to be leashed.
No, we were inside the off-leash dog area.
Your dogs were off-leash outside the area.
Yes, because the gate was broken, so...
I don't care whether the gate was broken or it was being sent off to Pluto in a rocket.
Judge Judy continues.
Dogs into an area where there are bigger dogs because...
Well, I was there already.
Your dogs were outside off-leash.
They were inside first.
They were inside first. They were inside a womb first.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy. Corey Furness says neighbor Vianney Bolanos owes for vet bills due to a dog attack.
Your dogs were off-leash in an area where they were supposed to be on the leash until they got inside the gate.
Yes.
And then you take them off-leash.
Yes.
Now, so tell me what your defense is.
Okay. So you want me to tell you the full story?
No, I want you... Your dog came up. That's what you just told me. And now you're saying that this is wrong. There was sort of an attack. Your dog did bite his dog. Well, if your dog bit his dog, that's an attack.
Okay. I came into the park with my dogs both on leashes, and then I was inside the park. So, like I said, the gate was broken. So my small dog fit through under the gate. So my husky chased her. So that's when I was at the grassed area because I went to go get them.
I don't care.
So then I came back. Leash was inside the park.
Inside the dog park, the
Yes.
fenced dog park.
Yes.
So we have to say fenced dog park and the greater park where your dogs have to be on a leash.
Okay.
So now your dogs are out in the greater park without a leash.
Yes.
And?
Okay, so then dogs are curious, obviously. So both of my dogs went
I don't know.
up to...
I have 3 dogs. One is curious, one not so curious.
Well, they went up to, like, smell each other, whatever. So then he just started yelling at me and saying, "Get your dog off," and my dog wasn't doing anything yet. So I just grabbed my dog.
Wasn't doing anything yet?
Yes.
Is what you just said.
Well, so then I grabbed my dog's leash. I was about to go, and then both of my dogs ran, and his dogs ran after, like, towards the middle of the off-leash gated area. When we were there, this is when he started just, like, yelling at me and just, like, saying, "Your dog's killing my dog," but my dog wasn't doing anything. So then he starts cussing at me. He just, like...
May I please see photographs of the dog, please, and the vet bills? That's an attack.
Judy continues in a moment. Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Listen, if you have a big dog, you have to keep the dog on the leash all the time, unless the dog is in a fenced area that is designed for just dogs. And then if he comes in and he sees a big husky, he can make a determination as to whether or not he wants to take his little dog into a fenced-in area where there are big dogs. I wouldn't personally take my little dogs into an area where there are bigger dogs because...
Well, I was there already for like 40 minutes.
Your dogs were outside off leash.
They were inside first.
They were inside first. They were inside a womb first. That's also true. But at the time that this happened, they were off leash where they weren't supposed to be. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $864. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.